Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Freedom is the right of all sentient beings.
It's 3 a.m. and the sirens are going off. Another rocket attack. I've got my boots and got my ammo in my 50-pound sack. A 100 boys headed to war in this world unknown. The only peace of mind I've got are these letters from home. Another day has come and gone. Another night I'm all alone. I didn't think I'd be this far out here in Kandahar. Well, most of us, we made it home, but we never came back. When we close our eyes at night, we hear a rocket attack. I've tried to talk and tell you about it, but it ain't the same. All these thoughts that run through my head, well, they can't be tamed. Another day has come and gone. Another night I'm all alone. I didn't think I'd be this far out here in Kandahar. Another day has come and gone. Another night I'm all alone. I didn't think I'd be this far out here. We ain't far from Kandahar.
Dynamics of the group work, and then you're going to come down to the stables and you'll start working with the horses, and it's nothing mandatory. Like our first session, we got out here and we just started grooming a horse. Patrick showed us how to groom a horse, and it was just fun. And as we're grooming a horse, we're telling our story.
You get to see somebody who's
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Do you ever have one of those moments where you think, how the hell did I get here? Jeez, what happened to me? I was ruling the galaxy, had a cherry new battle station. I mean, this place had an omelet bar, a straight-up omelet bar. And now look, my former intern's tossing me down a bottomless freaking pit. You know, come to think of it, my whole life has been a series of what the moments. That was my out.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I looked my woman in the eye sockets. I told her straight out. I just said it, man. I said it. I said, bitch, I'm the man of the house.
You said bitch, though. You called your wife a bitch.
Yeah.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Let's roll.
Come off some. Hell yeah. WTF Nation Radio. Broadcasting live from the Functional Veteran Quarantined Center of Excellence. Your distance. On this 23 March 2020. Man, what in the hell is going on in the world? Is that freaking press conference still going on with the president? I mean,
I've lost track of how many press conferences
I was about to say, dude, yeah,
at any single time.
Yeah, I don't know.
New York is having a press conference every 2 seconds. The president's up front, which, I get. I'm glad all these leaders are up front. It's like, oh my God.
Are they up front? Are our leaders up front?
You know what? I think more so than ever. I think there's still plenty of leaders that are just kind of like, do I really got to do a press conference? But I'm impressed with Army senior leaders. Like, there was a press conference that had like the Corps of Engineers general who was talking about what they're planning to do, which a lot of people really liked.
Wait a minute, you talking about
the Army all out there?
You talking about those town halls that they were having? All them town halls and
no, they had a big press conference at the Pentagon, which must have been interesting because it was like the Pentagon is empty.
Yeah.
The biggest thing happened. They had two confirmed cases of people with coronavirus, and they had one person die who was a contractor out of Crystal City, which is like a stone's throw away from Arlington and the Pentagon. So it's pretty crazy. So if people weren't teleworking at the Pentagon, they are now. It's gone crazy so much that Virginia has gone into a complete semi lockdown, canceled the rest of the school year, and that's just happening in California. Their governor was on talking about social distancing, about what they're shutting down. Texas and Dallas itself is actually talking about shutting down for non-essential things. Thousands upon thousands of people are out of work right now. It's a crazy time, and yet the people who are working on the Hill can't come together to figure out how best to help those people, because all they want to do is bitch and moan and all kinds of crazy stuff. Welcome to WTF Nation Radio.
I was about to say, welcome to the Monday edition with Ice and Flash. Woo! Oh man, tonight's guest is gonna be Riley Dosh. She's gonna come on and shoot the shit and talk about what happened to her and her experience at West Point. Interesting story. A lot of things that kind of open up my eyes to what I didn't know happened. Which once she comes on and shoots the shit with us, we'll get all the deets and all that. No, dude, my biggest thing throughout this whole thing is that where have they, okay, I'm going to play a video right now, okay? And all these town halls that they're having, and the video you're going to see right now, everyone go ahead and keep your eyes up on the stage, or on the screens there. You listening in Twitter and YouTube and Mixer and all other 12 to 15 broadcast podcasts that you're all listening on. There's kind of like an op order now. There's a Frago talking about cutting hair, not cutting hair, or something like that. Have you seen that the facilities are going to get closed or some shit like that? Well, there was a question asked during a town hall, and it looked like it was in Germany, due to the fact that there were some garrison flags in the background and a German flag in the background. And so I'm gonna play this video right quick, and then when you see this video, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's gonna be a couple seconds. You guys are a couple seconds behind us, so we won't talk or anything like that, so that way you guys will be delayed. But this video is pretty freaking hilarious. I'll go ahead and pause for a second.
Thomas asks, how are we supposed to get haircuts? The PX, which will be open tomorrow, sells clippers, and you can cut your hair.
All right, let me say that again. let me repeat this video again. What he said, okay? Oh my God, this is hilarious. You can't cut hair, right? They're going to close down barbershops in specific areas. So now people asked in the town hall, like, no shit, hey, what are we going to do with this, with the situation here?
Thomas asks, how are we supposed to get haircuts? The PX, which will be open tomorrow, sells
craziest
clippers.
things.
I know, dude.
I want to commend a lot of these PAOs who are earning their money by getting their leaders to get on these Facebook Lives.
It is, man.
I've seen some really good ones. We had, I think, was it last week? We had Fort Carson who was on, and they were doing a great job. And plenty of people, and then there's people that I don't understand what these leaders are waiting for or what the hell they're thinking, because we have some of the most Lord, thank God I have no hair, so it's just easy to shave.
I was about to say, dude,
but they're focusing on the wrong
things, right?
It's like every so often I see, or not every so often, it seems like at least a couple of times a day I see Judge on Twitter saying that another stupid ass thing that officers are trying to do, or commands are trying to do, and it's like,
oh my God, dude, there was this one, I guess a retired first sergeant or something like that, saying that. And this is, mind you guys and gals listening on WTF Nation Radio, U.S. Army WTF Moments, and all other platforms, this is not true. This is 100% dejudged. Judge has debunked this, okay? Just because you're collecting BAH off post does not give your chain of command a right to come onto your domicile to demand an inspection. Just because you're collecting BAH. There are some rumors, there is some urban legend, almost like Candyman and shit. You got to say it a couple times and then it happens. There is some senior NCOs out there that have hit the behoovosphere when it comes to this. There's no such thing as that. If you collect BAH and you live off post, you are off post. You get a warrant. Sign your counseling statement. I don't care. You are not coming on my house. You will not come to my house. If you are a first sergeant or any leader and decide to come to the door and say, hey, I'm gonna walk into your house. You refuse. You got a warrant. Now, there's a lot of extenuating circumstances. There's a video about some stuff that we saw too. That's pretty crazy, interesting shit. But yeah, that you're right. The judge has been debunking. So I didn't mean to cut you off.
And I'm not trying to step on Sergeant Time's toes or anything, but it feels like leaders are just waiting for higher command to tell them what's right and what's wrong, and until then, they're just gonna fucking fly by the seat of the pants. But the SMA did do a video. He actually did one of those cell phone style videos, which is great. Pretty much saying stop doing big formations, stop doing formation runs. Social distancing. Yes, social distancing. Do that. I tell you what, I like the SMA for coming.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the SARMA. Yeah,
people have been getting put in these giant formations and talking about social distancing. It's like, what are you guys doing over there?
Right. Like, you all need to form up together.
You guys that hard?
Dude, struggling, man. They are really struggling. I don't know. Is it like? Do you think fear, like specifically? Yeah. Look, everyone's talking about the Clippers. Could you imagine? Yeah, mullets are in, dude. Get mullets.
Mullet.
As a matter of fact, I can't wait to see what the inbox is going to look like when we have.
Cletus is back.
Yeah, we're gonna. What kind of hairdo is that? That's the 3 Cletus. I'm gonna get me a 3 Cletus haircut.
I tell you what, the barracks barber is definitely gonna be making some money off of this.
Right. Well, everyone's talking about, I got a friend of mine who's like, I'm going to go buy all the clippers in the PX and hide them.
Well, I saw another thing that pretty much was like, soldiers, if soldiers have to stay home with their kids because of school cancellations, that they should be counseled for not having a family plan in place.
Oh my God.
Like
yeah.
that.
The family care plan. Yeah. It's literally, it is, look, I don't know if anybody's, what would happen? I mean, I don't know. Is there like a virus going on? Is there like a pandemic or something like that? Because that brings up, you bring up a good point, Flash, you have state and local laws, right? And the Army has to comply by those state and local laws while you're on there. You have, like, if you're from the specific state, you have to get a driver's license from that state, right? So if that state tells you not to go to a barber shop, and then you tell soldiers, no, you need to break the law and cut your hair, is that violating social distancing? Is that... You know what I mean? Where are we starting? I'm just looking for everyone with their there is no amount of Snapchat filters that's gonna fix whatever's gonna be coming after all these barracks haircuts and everyone not getting their eyebrows done or not getting their nails done, or you know what I mean?
Get your hair done.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be hilarious, dude. I mean, check the main page. We have a lot of updates. We have. That are posted up there specifically on the COVID-19 updates. The last update was on the 23rd of March. And if you guys not paying attention to that, what's going on, a lot of things have been happening that is Army-wide. Then, of course, each installation has whatever particular they have going on because of the impact of this Fragos. So pay attention to the Fragos. Low cost, no cost moves that require no household goods now are now authorized. So kind of pay attention to that. Subject to stop move, it can request to remain current duty station for 1 year. ALARAC 2020. So yeah, exactly, dude. So again, APFT and weapons qualification will be extended through FY20 for semi-centralized promotions. If a service member has a current test, they will not lose the promotable status, and the memo will be filed to a DAG1 in the next 24 hours. So a lot of the stuff that leaders are now saying, you have to pay attention to these Fragos that are coming out, because if you don't, then you're going to get screwed.
Little Ice is saying he's not happy with how command are doing.
Yeah, he's
this.
not. He's pissed, dude. He's screaming at me now. He can hear me. Dude, man, he is mad. He's trying to come in here and trying to see what we're broadcasting about. Yeah, you can't come in here, dude. You can't come in here. At any rate, some exceptional policy authorities have been delegated to make this issue. I feel like right now, that guy that's sitting there doing the news broadcast on CNN World, or what was it? CNN Live, and he was on CNN International. Is that what it was? And his kids came rolling in.
Yes.
And then they came in and started messing up everything, and they started, they were messing with the dials. That's what he's trying to do.
Guy was in a nice suit and everything. His kid comes in pajamas. It was great.
Exactly. That's what I feel like right now. Except, I'm just wearing a t-shirt and some PJ bottoms, so I'm definitely keeping up with the quarantine on what's happening. But anyways, pay attention to these ALARACs that are coming out. Like I said, the latest one has been 23 March 2020, and they are on the main page. Yes, they're legit. Yeah, I saw that comment. Are they legit? Yes, they are legit. Of course, ask your chain of command, but if there's any questions about it, then go ahead and reference those ALARACs. But anyways, dude, this is
there's been lots of missteps, not just with commands, but Big Army had a huge misstep over the weekend. Apparently, somebody running their Instagram. I don't know if you'd call it was trying to bring levity, or just said fuck it and had one too many drinks. It was like, well, I'm just gonna tell people what it is. But so the Army did a Instagram story. It's one of those things that only lasts 24 hours type of deals. Kind of like, what do you call it? Kind of like Snapchat, but just like Instagram has them, Facebook has them, stuff like that. And then people were commenting, and the Army commented back, answering some of their questions. Now, these questions, weren't that bad. What questions do what questions do you have of COVID-19? One person said, why did a man eat a bat? So the Army decided to reply, it wasn't because he was thirsty. Shrug shoulders emoji.
Oh my God.
There was another one that said, what's the biggest threat that COVID possesses? And they decided to put the thinking emoji, and it says death. Not wrong.
Oh my God.
And then there was what people are getting mad at is the misinformation coming off of one of them. Can little kids get it? And the Instagram, the person running the Instagram said no, symptoms are similar in children and adults except those with underlying medical conditions, older adult, pretty much. Kids really can't get it, and that's wrong. We've already had a couple of deaths because a couple of deaths of kids, which is very sad. And then the last one, why do people need toilet paper for virus that attacks the lungs? And they wrote back, no one wanted to be stuck home with one ply, question mark, shrug shoulder emoji, and a toilet paper emoji.
God.
So that was the whole thing. It made its way through Twitter. Senator Duckworth, not Ducks.
Tammy Duckworth, yep.
DuckTales, woohoo! Tammy Duckworth was even tweeting, calling it racist because of the whole, eating a bat, which is kind of a thing that people are saying that, it's because of the eating habits and that stuff transmitted and stuff like that, and called it racist. All the people jumped on about it, so much so that CNN picked it up, Task and Purpose, Army Times, Military Times, and the person has been relieved. What that exactly means, no one really knows. But it probably either they've been fired or they've been just put to a different spot or they've just been sat down on the bench. Either which way, not a great move for the Army. They did issue an apology straight away, which was really good of them because there's been times where they've had mess ups on the Army platforms. And no anything. So it was great to see a actual apology. But the Army's going to have to. I'm sure they're going to be very, very careful for now on. But I understand trying to bring some levity. But people are dying, and this is the big issue. And people need to take this seriously. And if you're one of those people that says, "Oh, well, the flu is worse," look at the numbers. Yes, the flu is bad. I'm not saying it's. I hate that. It's like discount something because another thing is bad as well. Cool. He got shot with a gun. Well, there's people get stabbed with knives. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I would say.
I guess I'll just walk this fucking giant ass hole.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't realize the perspective. At least I didn't get stabbed, or I'd be dead worse. Fucking idiots. But this does have a big, a bigger percentage of people who are dying. New cases are popping up everywhere, something like another 237 cases in North Carolina. There's been more cases in Virginia. We did talk about the Pentagon. We have more cases that are popping up all throughout the country. And talking to some people who are in the medical profession, both within the local hospital and some people that work with in the CDC, I'm just going to tell you what they've told me. And, I'm not trying to be like we are the sole information. We're only on the uptick, guys. They talk, the Army talks about it, the CDC, FEMA, the president, everyone talks about the curve, and we're trying to flatten the curve, but the curve still has to go up. We're trying to limit how many people actually are affected by social distancing, washing your fucking hands, people, and just doing the things that they're asking you to do to not get other people infected or to not get affected yourself. The curve is still going to go up. We're still in the upswing, and we're only going to see more and more cases, and then eventually we're going to plateau and it's going to go down. Hopefully, if we flatten the curve, baseball season will come back because we'll flatten that curve where
Of course, baseball.
We'll get normality back. The restaurant workers who have been laid off, the people who are considered non-essential, and those who have been shut down, hopefully get back to work. So I urge everyone, my family's been, the Flash family's been doing this. Please listen to the Army senior leaders. Please listen to your government officials. This This isn't a big crazy, we're trying to see if we can control people because of this. It's actually going to save lives, because if it's not your own that's in trouble, you infect somebody else and the person with the underlying illness dies, that's on you. You probably won't even know it because you're such a douchebag. But you got to remember, this isn't just about your safety. It's about, I have neighbors near me who are older, and I've stayed my distance away. I even talked to them across the street because I'm like, I'm worried. don't even want to get that close to you because I don't want to accidentally give you something. Well, it's not just about you. It's about everyone.
Right.
So the better we can do, the more people we can get back to work sooner.
Right.
Because it doesn't look like the stimulus bill is going to get pushed through anytime soon, because they're going to
I was about to say, what's
all the stupid shit.
What's the stupid shit? I thought this was supposed to happen like today, right? It was supposed to happen this morning. What happened?
So there was a vote. There was a vote yesterday. Right now in the Senate, they're trying to put together a stimulus bill. The long and short of this bad boy is that they're trying to give people a paycheck. People, there's been numbers thrown around from $1,000 per person to $500 per kid, up to what I'm hearing now is kind of where it's settled at. I don't know if it's going to stay there or not, but my friends over on the Hill that are still working are saying that they're kind of settled on around $2,000 per person and about $500 per kid, which is not to help with people. And there's if you make over 150,000 as a couple, there it might be less or more. They're still working at those numbers. The big thing is all the extra stuff is trying to be put in this bill. So they were in talks on Saturday. On Sunday, they talks had stalled. They were going to run through a vote, but then Mitch McConnell, who is the majority leader for the Republicans in the Senate, asked for to put it on hold because the Democratic leader Chuck Schumer asked for a little bit more time. They can hammer out details. They weren't able to come to an agreement, and the vote failed Sunday night. So they did another vote today. That vote just as well didn't go through, failed miserably. A big thing is, according to the Democrats, Republicans trying to push through a slush money for corporate companies that do not have guarantees or help for the workers, which is what they feel is more important. On the other side, Republicans are saying that Democrats are trying to slide in more entitlements. They're trying to slide in more some gun regulations, and then they're trying to slide in some other stuff that the Republicans don't want to agree with. Hopefully we'll get to a point where we're going to go in the middle, because like right now, trending, Democrats hate America. Trending, oh shit, it just changed. Trump lies, America dies.
Oh my God, dude!
But it's a big deal now, and it's stalling because and then don't forget the House, because Nancy Pelosi can't not be the star of everything. Put out her own. They said they put out their own, which has even more stuff that has nothing to do with the stimulus bill for COVID-19. That's the big problem. Is everyone, both sides, like to say, hey, we're trying to do it for this, to give people a paycheck to help them out. Which, even though it's borderline socialism, but hey, whatever. But it will help people out in this dire situation. I have family that isn't working right now, and like my wife and I already talked about, if we get a check, we're going to send it over to them to make sure that they're good to go. Some of it, I still have kids that are crazy, like you do.
Yeah,
and,
oh my God, dude, he's going off on us. He wants to join the show.
These checks I could see being important, but it's all the extra pork that they're trying to add on there. That is what they're quibbling over, and each one is trying to point the finger at each other instead of getting it done, which is, I'm pretty sure, it's going to make everyone hate Congress as more than they already do now.
I hate Congress already,
I will
dude.
say the president's approval rating on handling COVID has actually gone up to 53%.
And I guarantee I hate all of them now. I don't care what. I'm even starting to hate the independents. I mean, not hate. I'm really just starting to not. They're done. I'm not all. I don't. What do we do, man? Because right now, what's happening with what's going back and forth with both the Republicans and the Democrats, bickering back and forth, and then you have that Rand Paul dude, independent, right? Is he Republican or is he independent or what? Whenever he wants to decide what he wants to be. He has possibly an infection of this virus, and then what does he do? He goes swimming, eats breakfast, and hangs out with everybody. And then he's tested positive after he's gone to the gym, swam in the pool, had breakfast, shot the shit with Marco Rubio, and then everyone's like, oh well, okay, possibly infecting everybody that is going to be possibly involved in this vote, to include Mitt Romney, I think, right? Isn't that what happened? Didn't he get mixed up in that shit too?
Yeah, Mitt Romney is going to be is self-quarantining there, is waiting on test results to come back. Right now, we have a total of 35,530 confirmed cases in the U.S. 354,000 total confirmed throughout the world. In the U, and that's and for the U.S. that 35,000. That's in the last 24 hours. We've gone up by 2,200 more people who are infected. We have a 15,000 plus total deaths in the world, which is another 940 in the last 24 hours. And then in the U.S. we've had 56 deaths in the last 24 hours, bringing us the grand total of 473 as of about 3 hours ago. People in the stock market is crashing. I mean, we're back down into the we lost about something like 800 plus points, bringing us the Dow down to 18,000 and some change. We were up at 25,000 not even a couple weeks ago. So it's crazy how much has changed. People have lost their jobs. Companies are HEB is limiting how much of everything they give out so they can keep supply chains going. Costco and BJ and Sam's Club are doing the same thing, limiting stuff. It's crazy times right now, but 35,000 cases in the U.S. alone, and that's in the last 24 hours. It's 2,200 people have come positive,
and everyone is now look, I'll be honest with you. You can have your fucking politics all you want when you're done about something else. You know what I mean? If you're bitching about something else, I got it, but not during this time. Not when we're we're trying to move some shit forward to get people. Look, we can point the fingers and we can have a COVID, just like a 9/11 commission. We can have the same thing. We can have a COVID commission, and we can have all this shit and tests and all this other stuff. Because right now, what you're seeing right now with corruption, you got four lawmakers right now that are possibly going to get in trouble for violating ethics for dumping stock because they got wind of it.
I think it's like 2 or 3 Republicans and 1 or 2 Democrats.
Something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure the numbers.
According to sources, they walked out of the briefing that happened weeks and weeks ago and immediately sold stocks. To me, if Martha Stewart's is going to go down for insider training, all 4 of them.
Oh yeah. I was about ready to say that too. They got caught cold busted. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I'm surprised.
I got no sympathy for them.
Yeah, I'm surprised Martha Stewart isn't fucking going up to Congress right now telling a bunch of punks. You know what I mean?
They all honestly they all need to be indicted. An investigation needs to be done, and they need to be indicted. And let's find out the truth, because I still believe innocent until proven guilty. So, but there needs to be an investigation, because if they did that, that's bullshit, and they should go to jail for that.
Yep, they should.
They definitely should be leading, being the representatives of the citizens of this country. That's for damn sure.
You know what? I wonder if they were to, if Congress, since they like to, do things with the military a lot, and we follow congressional guidelines and stuff like that, being part of the military. They should do the same thing when they're under investigation, that they should suspend their power. Just like how a first sergeant or a commander gets suspended when they're under investigation. Whether they're guilty or not, they're suspended of their duties, right? They should be suspended. There should be a suspension of those lawmakers in the power of their duty for them not to do anything. And then when the investigation comes out, and I'm telling you what, I literally think, dude, it sucks because they own the courts too. That's what pisses me off. They own their own investigation. You're owning your own investigation, and you're gonna say, well, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything illegal. That spin is already going on out there. It's bad enough that the spin from both sides of the media side and both sides of the congressional side are going back and forth on who to blame on this, dude. I don't care if it's the most liberal freaking person or the most conservative person trying to do something together to get medicines, to get a cure. I don't know, to get some ventilators built, to get some masks issued out. The last time I checked, what do we consider ourselves? Flash? Are we radio people? Are we commentators? What would be considered? We were because of our lines of work and stuff. I guess we'd say we're communicators or broadcast journalists. What would we be called?
I kind of think we're kind of in the realms of commentators.
Commentators, okay.
In my eyes, us on at least this show, we don't break news. We don't do a lot of investigations, but we work with people who do those investigations on the main page side. and we talk about it. We give our perspectives to the loyal listeners of WTF Nation Radio, listening far and wide on a crap ton of different channels, including WTFRadio.com.
Yep.
Or on a podcast. Don't forget that.
On Google Play or Apple Podcast. Kaz has called us the opinion givers of excellence.
The opinion givers of excellence. I like to think that we both have big opinions, but I think that's what we do.
But okay, so that's our lane, right? So because we are communications professionals or information professionals, I guess you would say, that's our lane. We know how to. We have processes in our backgrounds that go. Never would you ever, you specifically, I know I wouldn't, go to a medical professional who has got years of experience and tell them they're full of shit. Would you ever do that? Would you ever say, well, yeah, Dr. So-and-so who's been doing, cellular biology and is, biotech and all this other shit and biomedical stuff and is a surgeon and all that and has worked with infectious diseases before, who's got years of experience, has been in Africa and investigated and researched, infectious diseases like Ebola and all that, works at Fort Detrick. Would you ever tell them they're full of shit about something? Would you ever tell them that? I know you wouldn't. I'm just asking a rhetorical question because, members of the media, members of Congress, shut up on that shit. It literally, if you have those professionals walking up to you and saying, again, I'm just, I guess you'd say, man, I'm a commentator. Me and Flash are commentators. Oh, wow, you're telling me I need to wash my hands? Fucking A, Flash, I guess we better wash our hands. I'm not going to go,
well, I heard on the internet that you're not supposed to be doing that because, shit is bullshit. You guys are full of shit.
And, well, what's your degree in?
I ain't got a degree in shit. I just looked at the internet and said, fuck it.
Thank God for Google making dumb people smart.
Exactly. It's not going to happen. It is really frustrating to watch this back and forth on both sides of the news, and you have individuals that were literally sitting on the couch in Fox News, or sitting behind a desk on CNN, or sitting behind, or in a little circle jerk in fucking MSNBC. All talking about whatever, and I'll be honest with you, I'm looking at this what you guys talking about? I don't know, humanitarian relief. What you guys talking about? Big scandals and spending. I'm merely just a lowly, simple commentator on.
Just a simple commentator.
I'm a simple commentator, just a man making my way through the universe. Exactly. I'm just making my way through the universe, man. That's all I'm doing. I soak in the knowledge, but what I don't ever think I'd ever do is tell somebody in the medical profession they're full of shit.
So here's my thing that pisses me off about our politicians, besides the fact that we have a bunch of crooked fucking people. Shocker, really. I kind of talked. I was looking for something when I was talking about it, and I want to circle back to it. I was talking about the extra pork that's going on in some of these plans. Here's some of the things wrong with Nancy Pelosi's plan that has nothing to do with this stimulus. Required early voting, bailing out the all current debts of the Postal Service, requiring same-day voting registration, 10K bailout for student loans, provisions on official time for union collective bargaining, full offset of airline emissions by 2025, greenhouse gas statistics for individual flights, retirement plans for community newspaper employees, $15 minimum wage at companies receiving assistance, permanent paid leave at companies receiving assistance.
Deceased first.
All this is an opportunity for them to just throw. A lot of that has nothing to do with the stimulus. It's not going to help anyone. It's not going to help anyone. My family, your family. It's just it's taking advantage of a crisis, and that kind of pisses me off.
Right, dude, that's exactly what it is. That is exactly what it is, dude. It has nothing to do. I mean, all the way up to the top man in the office. Yeah, I'm. There's some things I kind of keep. Exactly. Are we starting to get political now? I mean, is it just is everyone getting that frustrated now to where? Because I watch the Twitter sphere. I have friends on Twitter that will literally tell D. Treasy to shut the fuck up, and I have other people who will say Nancy Pelosi shut the fuck up. I mean, I watch it going back and forth. And I'm surprised when people are clutching their pearls and going, "Oh my God, I can't believe you said that." I'm telling you what, people are getting pissed off. They're getting tired of it. Nobody wants to hear their shit. You're reading some of the stories and you're hearing about somebody who was a Marine veteran or something like that, or who had died of the disease. You have individuals that are listening to other misinformation because Ivan is doing their shit with misinformation. China's doing their shit with misinformation. Everyone's pointing fingers on everybody. So you just recently had a couple. One of them died. I guess the man died, and the woman was critical for taking some medicine that they shouldn't have taken, or they thought was going to be it's a chloroquine or chloroquine or something like that. It's some sort of.
And ibuprofen is not good apparently to take with it. That's
but and it's going back and forth. That's what it is. And then you have the Rand Paul issue. I'll be honest with you. A lot of the stuff that is, look, Republicans, you need to shut your holes on this for a second, okay? A lot of the stuff that is happening on it's happening on both sides. But when you have somebody like Rand Paul, I'm telling you what, dude, you're purposely infecting everybody. Oh yeah, okay,
hey,
yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, I knew about it.
His dad said this was a big hoax.
Yeah. His dad. Yeah. No, it's okay. I'm gonna come to work. It's not a big deal. I'll be, I'll check it out, man. I think I might get it. Yeah. Instead of getting tested and then waiting for the results, he just like, yeah, whatever. Okay. It was like, everyone's getting mad at what's her name, Kristen Sinema, a Democrat out of Arizona. And I was like, dude, she's right. Quote, she said, this America is absolutely irresponsible. You cannot be near other people while waiting for a coronavirus test results that endangers others and likely increases the spread of the virus. She's not doing a partisan event here. That's not partisan. No, everyone else is like, everyone has been saying, the CDC has been saying, what makes you, a member of Congress, exempt from this? I mean, dude, you ain't, oh man, it really is. Yeah, exactly. DC meat puppets, man. It's fucking frustrating. Think about the average age of everybody in Congress. Who's this? What is this disease affected most by? Who's it going to affect the most? Senior citizens.
All those fuckers.
Yeah, dude.
In Congress about to get it.
Some of them are. Yeah, some of them are taking multiple medications to begin with and have underlying issues. God help them. If you believe in such deities or whatever, I'm not going to get into whatever. There's no atheists in foxholes, but of course, you make that comment and it brings out everybody in that world. Oh, whatever. But Jesus Christ, dude, it's not treated. Yeah, no one's.
I'm just waiting for Congress to be like, okay, we're gonna split the country into districts. We're gonna now start holding the Hunger Games.
Right. Oh yeah, dude. What were we talking about? Wasn't there like another? Wasn't it somebody did a map? Somebody did a district map of where we would be at according to the Hunger Games. I saw that passing around the web. But my whole point is that exactly that, Carrie. Everyone is cashing in. Everyone is cashing in, and lives are being at stake. Now, look, lives are already at stake. Look what's happening, and look what's going on. There are already cases that are starting to sprout up. Oh, thank you so much. There we go. Yeah, there we go. I appreciate it. Hang on. You guys want to see you guys want to see the Hunger Games, the Hunger Games graphics?
Know where you stand at this point.
Know where you stand at this point with the Hunger Games. Yeah, you ain't lying. Wish they bring the games on, man. Holy crap! And everyone's look. This has also divided a lot of friends and family on the issue because they are so sold on. They're literally sold on the party, but not realizing what their party is doing. Again, we can bicker all you want. We can say back and forth. Here we go. Here's the Hunger Games map. Thanks, Lash. This is awesome.
I was showing my wife that the other day.
That's pretty cool.
I was like, just so you know, we'd be in District 12.
Yeah, I want to say. Let me see where. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at 11's pretty good. Why is number 4 like hanging out like that? What's up with that?
So technically, this is like the adjusted one because if you actually went off, because I'm gonna nerd out a little.
Nerd out, yeah, go ahead.
If you actually go off of like the what is considered what the Hunger Games official map is, Florida is gone. Much of the East Coast is gone and underwater. About half of Texas is underwater, and then a lot of the West Coast, like half of California, Washington, Oregon, underwater. So the maps. This is more of this is actually how it is opposed to the Hunger Games version, but they still split up pretty close.
You ain't lying, cause look at that District 11, man. Woo, going from
man, I might move back. I might move back to my native state of Texas.
So what's the so where are the most advantageous spots to be in according to this map if you were to have the COVIDs? I guess once the games begin, it wouldn't matter because there were isn't there some super cities? I saw the first Hunger Games. Never read the books.
Books are good. Books are fucking twisted.
Someone.
I won't lie. The books are kind of twisted. The place, man. I tell you, I mean, anywhere where you're in a water lane, like 1, 4, hell, you can do 12, and anywhere where you're not if you're not central, like 5, 9, 8, 10, 2, you'd be okay. If you're out there, it sucks to be you.
Yeah, really. Rob Kelly says that I work with the elderly, and shit gets into my properties here in Maine, and we'll have 50% attrition rate. Yeah, that's what they're saying. That's what they're really worried about is the older population.
I won't even go see my dad. He's only like 55 or something, but still, I'm like, even he's keeping his distance, and we're all trying to, like my grandparents have, said that, called me like, we can't make it to your boy's birthday. I said, shoot, we're stopping that. Like, I'm gonna make him a cake. We're gonna have our own little shindig. I'm gonna put people on like Google Hangouts so they can say happy birthday to him. I said, we'll be okay, because what I don't want is I'm always the big thing, like, I could do a lot of things and I can handle a lot of stuff. What I don't want is, and why I've been so careful, is anything that happen to my kids and my family because of me being stupid.
Right. Yeah.
So, like,
you being at fault.
And I'm practicing what I'm preaching. Like, we've considerably, we don't go out and I'm able to telework from home. Awesome. I am able, we were able to prepare before a lot of this stuff was kicking up to get us, a lot of the stuff we need. So I go out very minimally. Like, I think I went out once the last like 7 days, and it was to like one store, and I was there for like 20 minutes and out. If you don't do these things now, it's gonna be trouble, and before you know it, somebody that is gonna get it, and then it's gonna be bad. So please, people. And okay, and before, because I know we're getting close to the end of the hour, because we got an awesome guest coming up.
Yeah.
Please do not freak out about the National Guard moving their fucking equipment. We're just happy it got on the fucking rail in the first place.
Dude, a lot of it's not really happy it got on the rail.
Like, it's Marshall. They're about to institute.
They're happy.
New York is about to go to Marshall. No, it's not.
They're actually happy that the vehicle's rolled.
Circle X.
Right. I'm about to say half of the majority of them are happy that the shit is rolling off and out of the motor pool. No, hey, what'd you think about all those spring breakers, man?
Turned on. Fuck. Say that again.
What do you think about all those spring breakers that were in Florida that got the governor of Florida canked fucking
I saw a report from an Orlando newspaper that said a bunch of those people have gotten coronavirus, tested positive for coronavirus.
Oh man, dude.
Fuck yeah, they fucking deserve this.
That's the
I get it. You're in college. Spring break is kind of like a whole shebang. Spring break, this is where I go experiment with, drugs and other people and go wild and crazy. Woohoo. But people are fucking dying during a pandemic, and it's not just in Florida. It's other places like Australia shut down all their beaches because they're having the same problem.
Right.
But like, you had people, and they were on the news going, I know people are like getting sick and dying, but it's spring break, dude. Chugs beer. And like, you're a fucking idiot, and don't, I hope you get out of the gene pool. Chugs beer.
Right. I'll be honest with you. I think it's like some Darwinism right there. I think it's funny. I mean, just me. I just think it's funny. You literally say it's not a big deal. It's just the flu, and I
think if you're out there in giant groups, knowing that they're saying, "Hey guys, how the governor of California is like, this is not the time for a pickup game."
Right.
And I was like, I love it, because he's right. This is the time to stop. Everyone just. Hey, all the introverts are loving this, and everyone who's got stocks in video games are happy because that, or they have stocks in Disney Plus and shit like that, because their viewership and gamemanship has never been higher. But if you're actively going out there, being in a giant crowd, you're a fucking idiot. And if you get coronavirus, I feel less bad for you. I feel bad for people who get it because of other people's negligence or just because it just happened. I don't feel bad for people who actively go out there, even though they're told you will get, it only takes one person to get like 50 people infected. You're a dumbass. And those kids, God, I hope they survive and they learn a good life lesson. They remember, I remember there was one time at spring break when I was a fucking idiot. But you know what? I hope they suffer just a little bit for them being stupid.
Yeah.
Because they don't go back to their campuses, because a lot of these campuses are closed. A lot of schools are closed. There's several states in the country that have closed their schools. Virginia, I believe New York as well, or at least some counties have shut down. I saw that Virginia, the governor came out and said that Virginia shut down schools for the rest of the year. That means they're done. Like, whatever, if you're in 7th grade, that's it.
Right.
You were in 7th grade. And now you're in 8th grade. Congratulations.
Well, they closed it down for the rest of the year.
How to do it.
Yeah, they closed it down for the rest of the year. So
So these college kids aren't going back to Clemson. They're not going back to LSU. They're going back to whatever fucking hometown they came from. Meaning, if they went to spring break, they didn't go back to LSU where they're going to be a bunch around other younger people. They went back home to where there's more people who, that little town in Louisiana that hasn't had any issues, no pandemics, and they're a couple of dumbass kids that came back from spring break. All of a sudden, gets the whole town sick and infected. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It really irks me because people are dying needlessly.
Needlessly, exactly, dude.
Not doing the easy things, like washing their fucking hands.
If it isn't the fucking population, it's the fucking it's Congress. We're gonna take a break.
This rant is provided by white rum and orange juice.
I forgot to fucking bust the music out again. Damn. I'm sorry.
We haven't had a good good music style rant. Like I just need to give you a signal. 3, 2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just say can hit it. I'm like, I'll light it up.
Fucking idiots.
We're gonna take a break right quick. We're right back, everyone, and stand by for our guest Riley Dosh. She's gonna come on in a few seconds. So everyone, take a break. Yeah, let's say I'd say 5 minutes. So we
5
can
minutes?
recharge our glasses and all that stuff, and then everyone get some shots. So stand by.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Shit in the bag, Pogue.
Hello, mama. Hello, daddy. I've got something that I've never said before. Went down south of the border. Now life, it's got a little harder for me. I fell in love with some girl. She told me that she was gonna rock my world. Now I'm stuck here with no money. Don't that just sound a little funny for you? Well, her name was Maria. She told me she was always by my side. Went home one evening. She was with another man. He tried to run and hide. I pulled out my 45. I told them that I was gonna take their life. Now I'm stuck here on the run. I don't know the animal I have become, so won't you save me? Save me! Won't you save me? Save me! Won't you save me? Save me! Won't you please put me out of my little misery? Well, I know life is short. Mom, you know I always try to do my best. Should've listened when you told me I wouldn't be caught in this mess. Gotta go now, Dad, I'm sorry. Everybody, all y'all need to know this is life, a true story. When you chase ass down in Mexico, save me, save me. Won't you save me, save me, save me, save me. Won't you please put me out of my little misery? Won't you save me, save me? Won't you save me, save me? Won't you save me, save me? Won't you please put me out of my little misery?
tell me what it is to see when you look at me. Deep into the photography, I don't really need your sympathy. Just tell me your thoughts. Have I got what they got? And is it a plot done for naught? Am I not like you because I do what I do? Who knew that I could lose a few of you cause I bleed blue? But it's true, I know cause I see it every day as I work and I sleep the day away. Like you I have pain and like you I have fear. Can I pay all of the bills and still make it through the year? While I make it home alive, should I pray to the sky every day and every night? Will I hold you by my side? But in the public eye, I don't even have a heart. A robot of the system moving only when I'm told to start. Rip apart my art, I'm strong like a flower blooming. You got it all wrong, I know I'm breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human.
Call me a vet like a soldier. Green beret, 21 gun salute, don't wanna see the day. In the constant war zone, in the home of the brave, where they hate the police until they saving the day. I got kids like you, a mortgage like you, so blue lives matter, and so does yours too. All this separation and divide, open your eyes. If you cut us all open, we the same inside. The only difference is I run to the gunfight. Your peace when it's chaos, when the people don't act right. But I'm under scrutiny for trying to protect me. You pull a pistol and I'm shooting for trying to contest me. I got a quick second to make a deadly decision. The media betrayed me like a kid for a living, like I'm cold with no heart, a brain with no thoughts, a body with no feeling, a life with no cause.
Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. I'm damned if I do, and damned if I don't. It's like every single time I say what's on my mind, they go for my throat, they spew evil words. If you are absurd, always grinding, grinning, and killing my soul with these verbs. Hold me down, like I can't gasp for air. I'm closed inside of a box, like I'm inside Fort Knox. Every time that I'm there, I don't know why they think that I'm different from you. All that's true is I'm a like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human.
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
And we're back. Part 2 of the Monday edition. Welcome our guest, Riley Dosh. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
What's that? What's that?
Thanks for having me on.
Oh yeah. Hey, real quick, I just want to let you guys know that here's some of the rules. I've already got some questions from some of the fans already and some of the audience, and then of course I have my questions. Flash is going to have questions too. So this is going to be a story that she's going to talk about in her experience, and we're going to let her speak. We're not going to speak to whatever she's got going on because she's the one that's gone through it. So, all right, Riley. So tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm Riley. I graduated from West Point in 2017. As we'll find out, I got discharged from the military. So now I'm a data analyst. I live in D.C. I work for the Defense Health Agency, or at least they're my client. So I'm still with the Army in a way. Still with the military community. I'm pretty active on Twitter with that community as well.
Well, wait, you're going through the defense stuff. I mean, you're going through the defense health. You're dealing with the COVID stuff, then, right? I mean, you're doing some analytics for that shit too?
Yeah, it's coming through right now, actually.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Are you teleworking at this point?
I was about to say.
Oh yeah, no, I've been locked down in my house for the past 2 weeks.
Oh man. Okay, real quick. All right, so where are you from originally?
St. Paul, Minnesota.
St. Paul, Minnesota. And then just like every other standard, application and appointment to West Point, you went through the process like everybody else.
Yes, I did.
And what year was this? What year did you start class?
I started class in 2013.
Okay. All right. Started class in 2013, and then you're rocking and rolling. Where were you at your class? What was were you like the middle of your class, top of your class, bottom of your class, or?
I'm like dead center.
Dead center. Okay.
Class.
I was about because
I
asked a West Pointer one time if they were at the bottom of their class, and they freaked out. I'm like, whoa. So it's kind of like mid center, bottom, and they're there's no such thing as West Point. So. Okay,
some people take more pride in it than others.
Yeah, I was about to say, well, you didn't tell us you were a West Pointer. We just kind of found out on your own. So at least that's one thing going for you, because most West Pointers will tell you that they're West Pointers in the first 5 seconds.
So there you go. Yeah, I try not to advertise it.
So at any rate, okay, so you're rocking and rolling, going through your class. You're going through all your requirements, and then this is just recently after Don't Ask, Don't Tell has been repealed, right? It was like 2011.
So I arrived. So Don't Ask, Don't Tell, I think, was repealed in 2011.
Yep.
I believe.
Yep.
So I arrived 2 years after that.
Okay. So you arrived 2 years after that. Everything's going great. Did anybody within the faculty or anybody within your class knew of what your preference was or what you were going to be? Were you already displaying like, hey, I'm transgender already, or how did that work out?
So that didn't happen until I was a senior. I didn't come out publicly until I was a senior. I didn't really know it going into it either.
Right.
That's something I kind of discovered as I was at West Point as time went on.
Right.
So it was never really a part of my experience until the end of my junior year.
Okay. And then at that point, when you started coming out, did your classmates or how did the faculty take it? What was the general consensus?
Part of the reason I picked the name Riley actually is because it's gender neutral.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a lot easier to pick up if a gender neutral name, because I wasn't allowed to transition yet. So I didn't look any different than I had before. And I understand it can be kind of difficult to see someone who you ostensibly think is entirely male and call them Kathy or Emily or something.
Right.
It's a lot harder. So with Riley, all the teachers knew me as Riley.
Mm-hmm.
Not all the teachers knew I was trans.
Oh, okay.
I just went by Riley.
Okay.
And so, I don't know how many teachers even found out before I graduated.
Right.
But I tried to not create a potential grade bias.
No, I hear you. Well, I mean, most faculty relationships with students is kind of like, isn't it like really whatever, or was it at the time when DADT was repealed? Did you sense any I don't know, could you feel any tension? Could you feel any friction? Did you feel anything like that? Was it kind of a little bit, I don't know, did you feel comfortable able to talk about it?
So when I was going into West Point, I was bi. I consider myself bi, at least.
Mm-hmm.
I don't anymore is the point.
Right.
But I consider myself at the time bi.
Right.
And I was really worried about exposing that to the world.
Got it.
That was the thing I was in the closet for.
Okay.
And I remember one of my very first roommates, you walk in there and this guy at some point he mentions that there's no way he could ever be a roommate with a gay guy. And I'm just sitting there all right, well, I'm never going to tell you now. So,
that's another thing too. The was it like open specific? I mean, because again, everyone got. I mean, I was in the Army at the time. Flash was in the Army. Everyone was in the Army at the time. We got specific guidance that I don't know that was it. DADT was repealed, and that's it. There should be There should be no more drama when it comes to something like this, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It should have been an issue. You shouldn't make those comments. It was now moved into the equal opportunity sharp realm and all that. I mean, as a senior NCO myself, that was what we were briefed. That was what we had. And then, just like any other professional, it was like, hey, roger that, 3 bags full. Okay, cool. At that point, which didn't bother me at the time because I had LGBT friends and I had leadership, I had members of the family. It didn't bother me. It didn't bother a lot of people.
Right.
Or should not have bothered them due to a professional climate. But did it, at that point, were you worried about them going, yeah?
I mean, I wasn't too worried about any higher level repercussion, and that's the key part, because inevitably when something like this happens, it pushes the dissent, it pushes the people that don't like gay people, don't like trans people, it pushes them into the underground, and now it's like the counterculture to not like trans people or whatever.
Right.
So there's always going to be some people like that.
Right.
But the big key part was that I would not have to fear my leadership discharging me for being bi.
Right. Now that's exactly. But so now it's the trans issue that got. When was it that because I thought, and this is just, I want to play some ignorance here. I thought once the DADT was removed, just like a lot of people did, a lot of members of the service. Right. Don't ask, don't tell meant LGBTQ, right? I mean, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Maybe,
right.
You know what I mean? So I would have thought that it wasn't one of those blanket. I mean, it would be one of those blanket policies. LGBTQ, that was it. That in part of T is trans, and so I thought, okay, whatever. I mean, we've always said, anyways, it didn't matter if you raise. To me, the way I see it, if you raise your right hand, you volunteer to give your life for your country, you should serve. Period.
Right.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter.
Right.
So when was it that you were told? After, I mean, what was it? What was the point to where you said, fuck this, I'm going to come out and say I'm trans? What was the point? When was your, I guess I wouldn't say breaking point, but when was the moment that you felt comfortable?
So interestingly enough, the first person I came out to, I was at the December graduation at West Point, and I was there to see a friend who's graduating, and Sue Fulton, who's on the board of directors at the board of visitors, I believe, at West Point. She's a big name grad, and she's a friend of mine. And she's like, "Would you like to meet General Caslin? He's Lieutenant General, Superintendent of West Point." I'm like, "Sure." And she just wheels me over right to him, and she goes, "Hi, General Caslin. This is Riley. She's trans." And so right there, that was my very first time coming out to him.
Wow.
And he, like, anybody in the Army, it was my 3-star general.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
So that
if
was
you're
the
going to
moment
come
right
out,
there.
I mean, you might
Okay.
as well beat to some brass.
Yeah, I'm about to
Might
say,
as well.
I might as well, yeah. I mean, if it's going to be, I mean, there you go.
Might use fireworks.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, it was kind of like at a graduation ceremony, so it was kind of like a joyous event.
Right.
So my biggest thing is that and we got some comments here. Everyone says, you're freaking. What Mattis said was that I never concerned myself with what 2 consenting adults do behind closed doors.
Right.
Did that make you feel, when that comment was made you feel like it was still pushing you down as trans, or did it make you feel like, hey, look, that's not the point. We want to be able to just say,
Right.
not get picked on or not get fucking harassed about this shit. When you made that comment.
I mean, it's good to see comments like that where, it should not matter whatsoever who you love. However, at the same time, being trans is not about your orientation. There's some, you could say, like, high-level connections between trans people and gay people, and that's the reason you have LGBT and they're not separated.
Right.
Like, they're intrinsically related.
Right.
But, like, fundamentally, being trans is a very different experience, and when it comes to military policy, for example, it requires a lot more nuance, a lot more logistics involved with it, because there's an actual process that happens.
Okay, see that that's I'm glad, because one of the questions that I had was what is that, and this is some individuals feel weirded out by just asking, only because they're afraid that they're going to get labeled or something like that if someone asks.
No, I understand that.
And so a lot of it is that they'll go, hey, I asked a trans person, hey, excuse me, sir, or excuse me, ma'am, and they got mad because I didn't know, you know what I mean? It's just, some people it's a glancing thing, you know what I mean? But
so there's a stereotype of that, right? Where someone come up to you and they'll misgender you on accident or on purpose. And honestly, at this point, it really doesn't bother me whatsoever.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought.
I mean, okay, it does to a point, right?
Right.
Because if someone comes up and accidentally you're like, she, it happens. At this point, it's kind of rare for me, but it happens. Me as a trans person, I can see if someone's doing it maliciously. If someone's just like, oh, they messed up, that's fine. We get it.
Right.
It took me like a year to gender myself correctly. Right? It's a process.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm glad. That's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure that it probably, did you, I mean, it's almost like, did you like forget sometimes? Does it like slip?
All the time.
I was about to say, does it slip your mind? Or you make a comment, you're like, hey dude, what's shit? I can't say that. I'm you know what I mean? does it?
Oh,
Go ahead.
I still have done that from time to time.
Right.
Like 3 years later.
Right, exactly. Okay, so, and again, that was the question that one of my friends asked the same way. What do you consider someone like who's not trans? I mean, is it just being part of normality is basically what it is. It has nothing to do with a preference, like you just said. It has something that if you were saying that I'm a woman and I'm a woman, I'm a woman. Has nothing to do with being. In other words, the trans label shouldn't be there. If I look at you and you say you're a woman, then you're a woman. That's the expectation, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And generally, I don't call myself a trans woman unless there's a specific context to be a trans woman.
Right.
I'm just a woman. That's
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. So I mean, but we went straight into the social shit. We like totally skipped the military crap. Let's go back to the military crap.
All right. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So the military stuff. You had that reveal, I guess. That was a pretty good eye opening to the individual that you were. I guess. Hey, you're. This is Riley. What was his reaction?
Oh, he was surprised a little bit. By that point, he knew that there was a trans cadet because like it had gone up to the chain of command, I guess to say.
Right.
He did not know who specifically.
Right.
And to this day, he is a huge fan of me. I saw him a year ago actually, and as soon as he saw me, he goes, Riley, and he hugs me and stuff. Super excited to see me. He is a huge supporter of me. He's great. So then
at that point, at this point, basically, you're out. What was it? When was it? I guess you could say, when was it? You started getting shit for it. I mean, was it the ban in itself, or was it that someone was going to tell you that there was going to be a ban? How did you find out?
So common misconception is that I did not get discharged because of the ban. So I found out the ban, the Trump's tweets about it, occurred 2 months after I got discharged. When did I hear that I was going to get discharged, though?
Right.
I found out I was going to get discharged 3 weeks before I graduated, and that's about the same time everyone found out.
Right.
And so that's when I started getting shit.
Okay.
It's not when I came out. It's when they found out that I was going to receive what's quote unquote called the golden handshake, which is you graduate West Point, you don't have to recoup any of the money because you get kicked out, and you leave with a degree with no time on service. And a lot of people want that. I wanted to serve. That's why I went to West Point, right?
Of course.
So,
duh, you wouldn't have gone through that shit. You would have not got. I mean,
a lot of people were pretty pissed at me because they thought I was just like calling myself trans right before graduation. It wasn't right before graduation, but calling myself trans just so I can get out.
Just so you can get out, yeah.
And not serve.
Right.
But like, I definitely want to serve. But
right.
It was really hard for me, actually.
Right. So at all did I mean, of course, did you have a support mechanism? Was there anybody there like, hey, we're gonna, I mean, the golden handshake. I mean, did you see the superintendent? Don't you have to like see somebody to talk to? I mean, how does that work to kick out a cadet for something? I mean, how does that work to? Because so basically, you basically went through every single qualification and met the criteria to graduate the academy, and then you graduated, and then you did not get a commission nor get credited for being a veteran.
Right. Well, so I have a weird connection with the word veteran, by the way.
Right.
Like, I am officially a veteran,
right,
simply because I have a DD-214.
Correct.
It's
Correct.
Honorable discharge.
Correct.
I don't generally use it for myself because I feel really weird using it. But how the process works is normally the superintendent is the final authority on all commissioning. And as much as a third of my class needed medical waivers of some kind, he compared it to a broken arm.
Well, I was talking to a friend about this, is that there's requirements that like, for instance, Shannon Kent, she was trying to get enrolled into a commissioning program in the Navy before she was killed. I guess the military, and this is part of the research that I was doing, her story kind of fell into the reason why she couldn't do it is because the commissioning process medically has issues with it. It's like someone said it was like pretty antiquated. It's antiquated and pretty draconian when it comes to some of that. Now, you said there's a process. Obviously, if you're trans, you're obviously transitioning into a woman. So I'm not gonna. That's not gonna. I don't give. That's kind of like the elephant in the room that they really don't want to say, but it is. You know what I mean? That's really what it is.
Yeah.
How? Because I myself, retired sergeant, no individuals that have had medical issues before, and they're still deploying. That somehow they got deployed. I know HIV positive soldiers that have serving and still serving today that are still, but they can't, they can't go out and they can't deploy. They can't. But I also know soldiers that have had some serious medical conditions that if they take medication, that have thrown in my face when I was asking about it. And they're like, well, because there's specific hormones, they can't take this, they can't take that. I'll be honest with you, I'll be up front right now. I thought the same way. Isn't there like some sort of, you know what I mean? Because nobody knows. What is it that keeps you a woman? What is it that keeps you? I'm not talking about, well, I want to talk about the scientific and the the rhetorical of what a woman is supposed to be, because I don't want women to beat me up just by asking that question, but that's a joke. But what is it as far as you're transitioning to a woman, and then you're transitioning, and then what happens once you've transitioned? What is it that the military is saying medically that you can't do? What is it the military is saying that you can't have? Now, what's keeping you from, like somebody like me who's had to take life-saving medication, or Flash has had to take life-saving medication? What's the difference from keeping you from service if we're not being kept from service? What is it that they said?
Literally just because people don't want me to. So that's part of the whole thing about this policy, because the American Medical Association, the American Psychiatric Association, the WPATH, which is this world organization about trans health, all have affirmed that there's no medical reason why a trans person cannot serve the military. Like 18 allied countries have trans people serving the military. Israel, Argentina, Britain, Sweden, Germany, France.
Yeah. Spain.
You can all figure it out.
Spain. Spain. Great Britain just released just had an awesome freaking recruitment campaign. They even said, hey, can you spot the LGBT soldiers in this ruck march? And there was these soldiers ruck marching. I don't know if you saw that. Right. I should have fucking pulled it up, and it just hit me just now. But yeah, it's the same. It's the same freaking thing. So it's basically once you transition to a woman, you just take hormones, right? Is that what it is, or something like that? Isn't that what it fucking?
I mean, effectively.
Effectively. So
I've been taking hormones for the past 3 years.
I don't want to. I don't want to sound like a typical man, but women are always hormonal. Women are hormonal anyways. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I just think it's funny that some of the things that they're telling you that you can't do it because of hormones. There's other individuals that take medication for other stuff too, if that makes any sense.
Sure. And something that's commonly said is like, well, if trans people can't, like, they have to have a regular schedule of hormones, and how can they do that if they're deployed or blah blah blah. A couple things about that. Number one, all pharmacies already carry those drugs, those hormones.
Right.
They carry those anyways.
Well, right.
And number two, like, and maybe this is just because I'm young, but for like earlier this month, for like 4 weeks, I just didn't take my shot. Like, I just didn't take my hormones. I just never really got around to it. It's more of a hassle at this point. So like, I'm totally fine. It's not like you need to have this or you die. It's
Right, right.
Some thing.
Right.
People just want to make up these medical reasons why a trans person can't serve, and none of them are valid.
Okay, so that brings up another question too. They were lighting up the whole gender dysphoria thing,
Sure.
and they were talking about its psychiatric applications to being in combat or something like that. I've been corrected. I've had individuals. I'll admit it. I've been corrected. I have been. Someone has told me some things about that I've worked in that field, and some of it is, I guess, when it was the lack of access to those specific hormones. That's the one that was an issue. Is that kind of correct? I mean, is that?
I mean, I can carry 2 years worth of hormones in like a small bag.
Right.
It's if you know that you are going to be deploying or whatever, it's really not that difficult.
Right.
To have a supply with you.
Right. So okay. So we've already established that. So there's no physical the physicality of it as far as you're transitioning. Then at that point, it doesn't matter. It'd just be like anybody else. It's surgery. You heal up. You're on profile, and then you're done. And then you just do PT and lead troops and all this other stuff. Is that what a lot of the excuses they're throwing at they were throwing at you as far as, because once you got it. What made you? I mean, because I could tell you got fucking fire in your blood just by when me and you first met. I'll admit that. Yeah. But I'll be honest with you. You got what you've gone through and what everyone else has been able to do, and you've not been able to do it. You're not just. It's not by just you, but there's others in your position. That I think it's, like I said, the archaic medical commissioning process. What was your point where you said, "Man, fuck this. I'm fighting this shit." I mean, you've talked to Vox, you've talked to Der Spiegel. Der Spiegel. I mean, I watched I look at Der Spiegel online, so I saw that. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. So, what was your breaking point? What was the time that you said, "Man, fuck this. I'm out. Let's rock and roll"?
When I first got discharged, I mean, I was leaving West Point at the same time all my classmates were. I was already like planning for and was like kind of expecting a 2-month break before I would excuse me, before I go to my unit,
right,
or before I go to Bullock, actually,
right.
And so I was just tired. I just graduated college. I didn't want to deal with this bullshit, so I didn't make a big deal about it because I didn't think I could fight it at the time. 2 months later, when Trump does his tweets, I'm like, all right, gotta, it's not so much advocating for myself, because my story is more or less over when it comes to this.
Right.
But I can be here to advocate for the people who are still serving, who want to get into the military still, who want to commission, things like that.
Right. And that... So what's next? I mean, well, next. What are you talking about? The door's just fucking open. So who has been in the community in that has, I wouldn't say the community because that makes it sound like I'm talking about you. I would say in the veteran community.
Sure.
Then the veteran community that has advocated for trans soldiers to be able to just to say, hey, look, I'm serving, I'm out. I mean, because I'll be on for me, I think things logically, Spock, type shit. I look at things kind of like, I don't know, just how there's a cause and effect, second, third order effects, and so if I see something, okay, I'm everything that you're telling me right now, everything that I've spoken to, everything that I've researched, everything that I looked into with an open mind, that I've realized that there was no difference. I mean, I'll be honest with you, you just want to serve, man. You just want to fucking serve.
Yeah, that's really it.
You just want to fucking serve. Everybody just wants to fucking serve.
Mm-hmm.
But
I want the chance, given the opportunity to serve.
Right. Well, I mean, Riley, by the way, I fucking see it. You've already passed all the. You've already passed the requirements. Right. You're supposed to be what now? A fucking first lieutenant. You're supposed to have been a first lieutenant right now. And what was your MOS that you were gonna pick, or what was your branch?
I was air defense artillery.
Oh God. Okay. See now we're ending this freaking interview. I'm just messing.
Yeah, I know.
So air defense artillery. Hey, so you're so what? You were gonna go to Bolek. You were gonna go do the fire centers of excellence. You're gonna go hang out there and do that shit. And then that was the goal to be a squad leader, and then rock and roll to be a platoon leader, or not squad leader, platoon leader, and then be an XO or whatever. Carry on that stuff, and then Right. Okay, so now I'm still waiting for the, and this is not from you, but I'm still waiting for the government's reason on why you still couldn't serve.
So
what was their reason? What are they? I mean, have you come back? Have you had anybody from the DoD say, Riley, we're sorry. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's some things that can happen for you to come back, but we appreciate you to come and speak to blah 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 blah. Have they?
Certainly no official capacity. So the memo that I received that told me I was getting discharged or that I was not commissioning, it said that in effect, because this violates a policy, we can't do it. But the problem is this is a memo in response to an exception to policy. So it's simply saying you can't have an exception to this policy because it would violate the policy.
It would violate is not a policy because it's an exception to policy. It's like someone changing. Right. Yeah, it's like someone changing a temporary. Somebody putting something in temporary for a policy and then adding another temporary on it when that's the case. Yeah. So the ban right now is technically then still in. Is actually there's no ban, but the president put the ban back on with an exception of policy. Is that how it's taken? I mean, is that
No. So how it worked out was at the time that I graduated, the policy that we were working under was the same one released by the Obama administration. And so that policy did not yet include a clear-cut rule for accessions. And so it was not clearly defined how accessions would be treated. That would come in later because, of course, going through boot camp is going to be a lot more. It's going to take more policy to figure that out. They assumed that West Point cadets will just have no problem commissioning. But because there's a gray area, the Trump administration's use that gray area to rule against me.
Yeah, no pun intended. Gray line. Did you get it? Haha. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. As opposed, like I've talked to Eric Fanning before, who's the previous Secretary of the Army.
Right.
And he's a huge fan of me. He's like, yeah, I totally would have mentioned you if I could.
Yeah, he followed. He follows the page. he's a fan of
Eric Fanning.
Yeah, he's a fan of the WTF Nation. Yeah, that's the so really it's the stop. What have they said? What has policy said? Like what has members of Congress said? You know, because I'll be honest with you, I don't know if you heard us, bitching out Congress. They're pissing me off right now, dude. And I'm like thinking, right. Every single time a veteran or any single time a group, every single time anything that has to happen, and they want to chime in for us as veterans. They want to chime in for the service members. They want to chime in for groups that they consider disenfranchised or disaffected, whatever name they like, whatever word sauce they like to use today. Nobody has come up to you and said, "Hey, Riley, this is what we're working on" at all from Congress, from any of the members of the Hill, like any lobbyists or anything like that.
So I've talked to a few members of Congress, and to be quite honest, it's the Democrats that I've talked to have all been, yes, we love you, we want you to serve. I have talked to Republican congressmen before, and if you think people are going to be awkward about this conversation here, can you imagine sitting with a Republican congressman and his staff?
And they're all
talking about trans issues, right? So
most of it's curiosity. Yeah, most of it's curiosity with us and with me too. I mean, some of this. I mean, a lot of, and one of the questions that one of my friends asked is that, what do you consider those that aren't trans? What are you? Is there? I mean, is there like another group of individuals that you consider us? Is it? Are we? What are we not trans? What is there? I mean, do we have a nickname? Do we have a?
Right.
Am I out of the world too much to know what that means, or what's the gist of that? I mean, it sounds weird when I'm asking this, but these are just genuine questions.
No, I think I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, some of the fans have asked
in
me.
the same way, like straight people versus gay people.
Okay.
There's trans people, and it's called cis people. Now it's CIS.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for that is it's Latin. Like trans means opposite of
Latin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you do any kind of organic chemistry at all, like trans and cis come up all the time.
Wow.
Cis, it just means same side.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. All right.
So when I say I am transgender, the opposite of that would be cisgender.
Cis. But it's not used as a derogatory form, right? It's not used as a, so it's not like you're gonna sit there and look at me and say, shut up, Ken, cis, and I'm gonna be like, oh, whatever, trans. It's not gonna be one of those. It's not like a back and forth.
Unless I'm like unless I'm like clearly in a joking capacity.
Right.
No, it's not used as an insult.
Okay.
And like, if you feel like cis is an insult in any way because it's like an adjective onto who you are.
Right.
Well,
that's
how I feel about trans. Like,
right,
it's
right,
an
right.
adjective having
Right.
who I am.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm just kind of curious because I know back in the day, in the community, I've heard breeder as a negative name. And I was like, damn. So do we have names like that too? It's like one of those things that you have to ask. And so basically is.
I mean,
go ahead.
I've heard it a few times, but like that those are completely different in different contexts. If I'm trying to refer to someone who's not trans, I would just say cisgender.
Okay, all right. Or like how you would say it would be, just you don't want. In other words, the whole meaning of it is that we just say who we are as you're Riley and I'm Ice, right. And you're Flash and you're a woman, I'm a man, he's a man. Shipwreck is shipwreck. Sorry, shipwreck. I'm just breaking walls. But that whole, because Shipwreck, our front desk guy, was with us too. But yeah, it's the whole meaning of it. So the name's given off. I mean that right there, I got it. I mean that's understandable because a lot of individuals just don't know, and they're concerned that when they ask, then they'll get played onto a name or being called a racist or being called transphobic just for asking, because there's genuine questions that people don't, that like I just asked right now. Some of these questions are mine. Some of these questions are from some of the fans, and they're afraid. So what's your advice to some people? I mean, you're not gonna go, you're obviously not gonna freaking transform into a monster or something like that. You're cool. We've talked to you. We're talking to you. So, what's your advice to somebody who has?
Open.
Yeah, somebody's curious. What would you say?
I very much welcome questions. Now, there's a point because there's a difference between I'm just curious. I don't know anything about trans people. I want to know more.
Right.
There's also the concerned trolls that are just like, what about blah blah blah? Like, what about chromosomes or some stupid thing? It's like, I could tell you why you're wrong, but you're not looking for an answer.
Right.
You're just looking to be a dick.
You're just trolling. Exactly. I mean, I'm not a scientist. I don't get involved with that. I mean, just me personally, I'm not. If you tell me anything about biochemistry or cells or something like that, I can't. Although it is a fascinating subject, you're talking to me. And you said you're a math.
Yeah.
Your degree in math, so you're throwing all the freaking math. I suck at math anyway, so anything you talk about wouldn't be, I wouldn't get. So, but a lot of it is in the societal point of view. I don't understand. I'm still looking for the reason why you still can't serve. I'm not saying that you don't have the answer. We know you could serve, but I'm just saying I'm not hearing it rhetorically. I can't fucking a mathlete. Someone called you a mathlete. Is that good? Is that a good term?
Oh yeah, no, that's great. I'm an athlete.
Okay.
I do actual competitive math at times. So.
Oh wow. Oh yeah. Okay. Well yeah. There you go. That was a comment in our Mixer chat. So if you stream on Mixer, we have a Mixer chat. So yeah, that was Commo Boss. Yep. She's a mathlete.
Yep.
So the whole point is that exactly that. Yeah, exactly. There's somebody just popping in there. Rob, who cares? Like nobody. I mean, There are more issues right now than those. I'll be honest with you, Riley. You wanting to serve is mad more respect than the fucking trolls that are keyboard warrioring. You know what I mean? They're being keyboard warriors and they've only served like maybe 2-3 years. You graduated freaking West Point. You got it. You technically are supposed to be rocking and rolling.
It's no easy feat.
Well, yeah.
I heard it's pretty difficult to graduate West Point, regardless if you were bottom or first. It's still freaking hard. I wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have passed it, especially the math portion. Shit, I'd be fucked up, man. I would. There's no way I would pass the math portion of it. No, exactly that. Rob in the chat and the Facebook chat said that there's too many issues whether Riley wants to serve. You're damn right. There's way more issues than that. Is there anybody else that you've known that that is right now currently trans that is afraid to just like they're still? I mean, they're basically still in the closet then, right?
Yeah.
Because of
it. I do actually. I know a few people that they can't come out now because with the ban in effect, the government likes to say it's not a ban, but it's don't ask, don't tell all over again. Because by saying not a ban, what they're saying is you can be trans, you just can't transition, you can't like be trans, you cannot have gender dysphoria at all, you cannot do XYZ, with all the things that kind of make you trans more or less. And so there are people who are in the closet, I know.
Right.
They can't come out.
One of the questions, right? One of the questions is there a line between a cross-dresser, a drag queen, and a transvestite? What is that? That's not.
Right.
I really don't see that as a troll question. So is that what's the differences?
No. So, well, a couple things. I wouldn't take kindly to anyone calling me those things, but I understand like if you don't know.
Right.
Thing. The big difference between say a drag queen and a trans woman is that a drag queen takes her makeup off. Like that stuff comes off at the end of the day. Like who I am, you can see my picture.
Right.
I look fairly, like I don't wear makeup ever.
Right.
I don't wear a wig. I don't, and there's no problem if you do, but like, I don't dress up to go out. I don't dress up to be who I am or whatever. And so I think that's one of the big differences.
Okay, and then the term transvestite, that so basically that's the trans. Is that an evolved term from transgender? Is that what it is? Is that the?
No, that's an old term.
It's an old term. Okay.
Yeah. So that's similar to, for example, transsexual.
Okay.
Some people like to use those terms for themselves, and if they tell you that, that's fine. But for now, because like trans people as a community, we're still trying to figure all this stuff out too. We're trying to figure out like what does it actually mean to be trans? What does it actually mean? Like, what words do we like? What phrases do we like?
Shit, just join the club. Just trying to be human right now, dude.
Right, exactly. So in general, the transgender or as an adjective, so like transgender woman or something.
Right.
That's generic. Accepted term primarily.
Right. So it's basically who you are as a person, how you identify with as a person. It has nothing to do with the specificity of the thou. I don't get that. I'm still again wrapping my brain around. I mean, it's not that big of a brain, but I'm still trying to figure out I'm still trying to find out what the reason why the military still won't let you serve as a now. What's the because we had wasn't there like a Flash, didn't we talk about this? There wasn't like a PT card that had different preferred preferences or something like that we kind of talked about that. Wasn't there one like that? A PT card? There was an ACFT card or something like that.
Now I'm trying to
there was some document. There was some document that we were looking at. We had on air. I can't remember what show it was, and we were talking about not the issue of that it was like because we were like the same thing. Is that some of the drama that's happening? Someone said there are 57 different genders, and I'm thinking I've not ever heard anybody say that there was a 57. I've never ever heard.
No one ever said that.
Yeah,
no one ever says that.
That's what I'm saying. But everyone's saying that they're making that as a hyperbole, a freaking stupid ass joke. I mean, the last I checked, you're trying to be identified, or you're trying to have a society identify you as a woman. That's a gender. That's a gender.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking. Just blows me away.
I mean, it's a good segue to bring up for what's worth that you're right in that when people like yell at me to like pick a gender, it's like I did kind of. You did
pick a gender. Now, so then.
I'm just a woman.
Yeah, it's just a woman.
The same way that all other women are women, all men are men.
Right.
Now, this being a good segue to, no one says there are 57 genders or 47 no one says that. Right. There are non-binary people, and they fall into. It's not that they're like a different third gender necessarily, or fourth gender, or gender number 724.
Man, you looking over my shoulder?
Like that.
Yeah, I'm about to say you looking over my shoulder because that was the next question. What is binary? What is non-binary?
You set it up perfectly. So good job on you. It's being non-binary is, I mean, in the same way that you don't necessarily know what it's like to be trans, I can't necessarily tell you what it's like to be non-binary because I'm not non-binary.
Right. Okay.
It's someone who does not consider themselves male or female, which usually just means they don't like being attached to any kind of gendered ideas at all. That's generally what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's totally fine because they present pretty much like how you'd expect anyone else around you to present.
Right. No, I got you. No, I would just, yeah, that was the question that because I'm just like the non-binary. That right there. I mean, you can't even speak to it. Then I guess that's a mystery that we're gonna have to find. Is there are there non-binary soldiers in the Army? Do you know of Flash?
There are.
There are. Oh, there are. Oh, okay. Now, has anybody said anything about them? Is anybody pushing that as a classification for trans as well?
I mean, people like to bring them up as like a straw man against saying like, well, what if I identify as a horse? And it's like that's not how that works. Like, stop. It's it's different, right? Like,
no, but it was just funny the way you said that is funny.
Like, I'm not a horse. I'm a person. You're a person.
Right.
Like, let's not get crazy here.
Yeah. So then.
No one is saying that.
No. What I'm saying though is that you were saying about it being the straw man. Is that that being a straw man too? I mean, in other words, are people saying is that like a hiding? Is that hiding? That's basically hiding that they're trans if they're saying the non-binary, right? Is that it, or is it a
right? I mean,
because
I won't say all, but
right,
almost all people who consider themselves non-binary also consider themselves trans. So there is an overlap.
Right. Okay.
Essentially, it could be considered the same thing.
Right.
For the purposes of this discussion.
Right.
Yeah, so it's not as far-fetched as people like to make it out to be.
Right.
It's just a different kind of person.
Right. Okay. No, again, it's one of those questions that has. So as far as you were talking about there was some psychiatric board talking about that. Were they involved in what was some of the reasoning when the ban was dropped, or the exception of policy to the exception of policy? What was the reason why they were they citing anything, or was it just like a straight shut up, this is what's happening, that's it, or what was it?
When you're talking about like when I was discharged?
Yeah, because I'm after this show, after we're done, I'm probably going to research a lot more stuff and probably shake some more trees because I'm curious. I'm just one of those things where like, well, okay, well, was it just flat out freaking no, you can't be in? Yeah, but why? Well, because of this. Well, because most of the regulations and some of the policies, I mean, just like where you work right now, right? There's a lot of background and a lot of research and references on what you do.
Yep.
But there was none provided for this.
Yeah, no. The only thing they cited was the policy, which I was trying to get an exception to in the first place.
Right. Because you've already gone through the process. You've already trained. Now that's something too. Some of the training. Let's talk about some of the training. I know we're going back and forth, but you went through. You did the same stuff the cadets did. You did land nav. You shot weapons. You rappelled off of towers. Did you go to like air assault school or jump school or something like that?
I went to air assault school.
So you went to air assault school.
I'm actually pretty good at land nav, despite the reputation.
Well, I was about to say, well, we will see when we are on a land nav. But I'm just kidding. But air assault, nothing wrong with that. So you went to air assault school. So you did basically Army stuff, Army training, and you did all that stuff. And there was no. Did anybody speak to that point? Did anybody say, look, she graduated freaking air assault school. She can do land nav. You know what I mean? No one said. There was like, I almost feel like nobody had your back, but they said they had your back. If that makes any sense. I don't want to trash the individuals that you might respect by saying that. You know what I mean? I don't want to be too generalistic about that, but
so I mean, I should be very straightforward about like General Caslin, the superintendent. He was solely supportive of me. My entire chain of command was supportive of me at West Point. It was just that the decision authority that General Caslin normally had was pulled up from him to the Pentagon level. So no longer was it the chain of command who knew me, who had interacted with me, who like knew who I was. It was now decided by the acting Secretary of the Army, and I believe the Secretary of the Air Force had a word with it too, because there was an Air Force cadet who's in a similar position as me.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they've gone underground, so like I don't know much about them honestly, but as I understand, it was a pretty similar situation, and they decided that together, they're like, we don't want to be different between the Air Force and the Army. We're going to decide the same way for both of them. So we both got discharged.
Oh, shit. Damn, I didn't know there was an Air Force Academy one. Damn. And now that individual, same thing. Met the same qualifications, went all the way through just like you, right? Went through the whole...
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
Yeah. And then...
They passed their class and everything.
And also... they passed probably their what was it? Did they have to pass a fight physical? It's like a level 2 or level. Well, I think it's like the minimal level fight physical they have to pass or something like that. So they probably passed that too, right?
I believe so. I mean, I did.
Oh man, this is crazy. This is I'm be honest with you, Riley. I'm a sergeant major, and Flash will tell you this. I don't give a shit what you are. If you want to raise your right hand, you want to fire a weapon, you want to defeat, help us defeat, enemies, foreign, domestic. You want to go fight Al Qaeda with us, then it doesn't matter what you are. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because like I said, going through that story,
with all the trouble the Army has with recruiting and retention, and the fact that they're letting people go for silly reasons like this that are majority of the soldiers now aren't I think you said aerosol qualified.
I'm not aerosol qualified, and I take great pride in that because I'm airborne all the way.
Aerosol qualified. You go through all the education of West Point. It's ridiculous that there's just we're just gonna let a promising officer go for that.
I mean, that's what the Department of the Army decided. Yeah. And so, like, people they'll try to, like, cite these made-up costs about, like, how much it costs for trans people to serve in the military, which they're all inflated. I can tell you why, but all these things that people quote are inflated.
Oh, they consider it like elective surgery, right? Isn't that what they consider it? It's not considered
So the people that make these extravagant estimates, like it's going to cost $1 billion a year or something, which is absolutely ridiculous. They're estimating every single estimated trans person gets the most expensive possible things all at the same time, which is laughable.
No, I mean, because there's a lot of.
But the point of it, that like, if you're going to discharge people, if you're going to kick people out for being trans, they're trained. You spent money to train them.
I was about to say that you literally went
and
to.
Now you have to make that up.
Yeah, now you have to. So basically in doing that, the Army, the Department of the Army, and the DoD wasted 2 Ivy League education. Not wasted, but spent money on 2 Ivy League educations. And you were willing. I mean, think about this. I mean, because I would be pissed in your position. I'd be pissed off that these individuals that are graduating West Point in the Air Force Academy that are being given waivers to go play in the fucking NFL, but yet they throw you out.
No comment on that. But
no, I've been stewing. I've been stewing about. Sure. I was doing some research on your stuff and that. I mean, me and Flash were talking about that. Me and Spanky were talking about that on Sergeant's time. How is it that there's individuals? And I even said that too. I said there are trans soldiers right now, and this is before you came up, but there's trans soldiers right now that are getting kicked out that are probably trans and they probably went to West Point and all that, and they're willing to die for their freaking country. However, there's guys that like, oh, I want to play ball, and then they're willing to get that shit waived.
Right. And I mean, the money's not necessarily wasted, right? Because I'm still going out into society and using that education.
Right.
But it's wasted on the Army, at least.
Right. Well,
the Army's not directly getting that benefit.
Right. Well, the Army projects you as a West Pointer, because that's one thing I've learned in my experience, that the Army projects you as a like you were rolled out. Every West Pointer is rolled out. I mean, they're as long as they're punching the right tickets, West Pointers are rolled out. I mean, all the way. Your career is pretty much okay, Riley. You're going to be a ADA officer. You're going to be doing. You're going to go to Bolick, and then you're going to be a PAC-3 missile, whatever, or Vulcan, or they don't have Vulcans anymore. But you're going to be a duck hunter for the Army, and then you're going to go do that stuff, and then you'll go to do whatever, and then you'll be a company commander, and then you'll be an S3. I mean, you literally are having your plane of existence within the Army is planed out as a West Pointer. That all right there to me is I consider a lost investment, because you could be a brigade commander, a battalion commander, hell, fucking a general.
Sure.
Or it could have been, but again, it was just one of those things. God, but yet, we're gonna get Chet that graduated. Oh, I'm gonna go pursue an NFL career with the St. Louis Rams. Yeah, I know it's a big deal, but I really want to play football. Fuck West Point.
And get cut from the Eagles.
And get cut from the Eagles. Oh my God, dude.
Sure.
But hey, that's okay. No problem. You can do that. But we're going to take hard-working people who want to serve their country and don't want to pursue a football career. Because we don't exactly understand
we don't want to do
you. So we're just going to make it easy for us, so we don't get confused and go, there's the door. That's bullshit to me. And I'm sorry. That's complete bullshit to me. I'd tell the current Secretary of the Army if I could. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason for it.
Straight up, dude. Straight up. Well, shit. We're at the top of the hour, Riley. Hey, thanks a lot for hanging out with us.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah. Again, we got Riley Dosh here, Army veteran, West Point graduate, telling a story. Again, don't be scared. Ask questions. I guarantee it. You won't get your head bitten off. But if you come at it wrong, you're gonna come at it wrong and check big time.
I'll give you a warning if you're coming at it maliciously. If I feel like you're coming at it maliciously.
True that. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take a break, and then everyone get some shots. Go refill your glasses because I'm gonna go get some more drinks myself, and everyone we'll be right back. So stand by. Shouts.
It's
I mean, you got your supplies or something like that?
Yeah, I just had to get the refill.
Oh, okay. No, I'm talking about your family stuff. Like, have you gone out and, you know, did you go get a bunch of shit tickets? Did you do that? Did you go out and do that panic spending?
We got Sam's, Costco, man. We go every like 3-4 months.
Oh, okay. So you basically have like a freaking Sam's Club card, and then you just stock. I'm kind of like that too. I never really had panic buying and stuff like that. I was talking to someone about that. I'm like, no, I don't really panic buy. I guess I get my stuff when I'm supposed to get it, and it was like when everyone was freaking out about toilet paper, I already had it.
Well, now me and the wife went to the stores, you know, Walmart, Sam's Club, grocery stores, and just laugh at the humor of empty shelves and the stupidity of everyone rushing with the empty cart to the toilet paper aisle and go, oh shit, it's gone.
No pun intended. Have you heard? You got any friends that have been like have taken their shit tickets home from work? Have you seen people do that?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay, yeah. Lately, it's been pretty hilarious. I've been seeing on Facebook and Twitter, people have been taking their shit tickets home from work, and I'm thinking, for real, dude. I mean, or they say they wait, they do their workout and then they wait to go crap at work. So I mean, again, it's this whole freaking thing is amazing.
Well, how that's going to work out with the gyms being closed now?
Oh yeah, that's right. So in your state, have they closed everything down yet? Have they closed down barbershops and all that stuff? Because that's what they're doing in some states already. Starting tomorrow, I think. No, Wednesday. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they've closed down a lot of stuff, and then my county I live in is actually taking a little bit farther than the state and the federal government is, and shutting down a little bit more things because they don't want it in our county, pretty much. But it's the way it goes. Sometimes you vote for who you vote for, and
well, yeah, exactly. I'm just sitting here thinking about me and my son are gonna rock. Me and baby ass gonna rock some mullets. I think I'm just gonna go a full freaking indige. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and be indigenous and start growing my hair and beard. And me and the kid, he's gonna grow. I'm gonna make him grow a beard too or something. I'll figure. I'll put a little fake beard on him and take a picture and post it on social media. Me and him will be rocking beards and mullets. Yeah, it's crazy. I can't believe it. It's gotten that
like Wayne's World.
yeah, exactly. Like
Wayne's World.
Yeah, exactly. No, I can't, dude. I can't too. What I can't imagine is that it's gotten to this point. Like think about it. It's gotten to the point now where we are literally. People are really shitting themselves right now about this. Like, people are freaking the hell out. It's gonna exactly, Mike. I had so much toilet paper. Back in my day, we had so much toilet paper we used to wipe our asses with it. Exactly, Michael.
I was running out of toilet paper. I went up to the sports store and buy some regular clothes and stuff. And I was like, I'm gonna go see if they got ammo while I'm here, just for shits and giggles. And no ammo. It's all gone. And sure enough, there's a line to buy firearms, and they're all going to fight. They're all going to fight over like 10 firearms to buy, and there's 20 people in
line. My god, dude! I know. I was thinking about that too. Do you think the boogaloo is gonna? Can I say the boogaloo? And people getting upset. I'm gonna have the boogaloo. The boog. Is the boog gonna happen? Do we need to call the boog boys up? Think blue lying. Patriarch.
I have to call them.
Because now it's almost like people that normally would not have fire in your area. Do people carry a lot of doing in where you live? Do people have a lot of firearms?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just don't pop a cork in the store.
Just don't pop a cork. Pop a cork. What the hell, dude? The hell you doing popping a cork in the store? The hell you popping?
Oh man.
I'm about to say. I posted a picture of me carrying a picture of carrying a flintlock pistol.
Hell yeah!
And
only the baddest bitches carry flintlock.
Exactly, man. I'll put you down as 1776 style, blow a hole in your chest with my blunderbuss. But now I was just curious, man, because right now people are freaking out, like you just said about firearms, about supplies, about all that. I was just curious if you got done your.
Well, there's several states that they've had a significant increase in how many guns have been purchased, and how many background checks have been done since the pandemic has started. It at least got to the U.S.
Right. Then they also
it's a big deal.
Yeah, did they? It's a boog deal. Did you just say it's a boog deal?
It's a boog deal.
Boogane. Did we? Yeah, exactly.
This last hour is brought to you by Elijah Craig Bourbon, the best of Kentucky.
The best the boog can buy. Ooh, speaking of Kentucky, man, it's like Kentucky and Tennessee have like the worst, or like starting to spike in their COVID's infections. There's that one dude in the bar. There was had a bar and wanted to do a honky tonk, and had this crowded bar filled with freaking dancers doing a damn two-step with all their shit going on, saying, we're Tennessee strong. we don't social distancing shit. Get over here, girl. There's several pictures on social media of them dancing really close.
Because they're stupid as shit.
Everyone's dancing, and all of a sudden now
they don't wash their hands.
Yeah, people got the COVIDs, and they're wondering why that's happening.
I don't understand how I got sick.
I don't understand. It's just going. It's just Nashville strong, a good deer. I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? Nothing wrong with
Well, here, so coronavirus cases passed 378,000 people globally that's been affected. Now, we have 15 U.S. states that have issued stay-at-home orders. So listen up in case you don't know. California started Thursday. Illinois started Thursday. New Jersey started Saturday. New York started Sunday. Louisiana started on Monday. Connecticut started on Monday. Washington State started Monday. A little late for them, but still. Ohio started Monday. New Mexico effective Tuesday. Massachusetts effective Tuesday. Well, the rest I'm going to say are effective Tuesday. Delaware, Michigan, West Virginia, Indiana, and Hawaii. Virginia is one of those that's like on the border of doing it. North Carolina, as they've had a increase of like 247 new cases in like a day.
Wow.
Are getting close to having a stay-at-home order. Yeah, so more than 96 million people, about 29% of the national population, are currently under some kind of restriction, but not all orders have been activated yet. When all 15 of these states go into effect, it's like close to 138 million people will be affected. That's like 42% of the country. Give you something, to kind of like relook at. And around the world, Brazil's now seeing a spike of 400 new coronavirus cases. Belize, the country, confirms their first case of coronavirus. Hawaii, we mentioned, ordered a stay-at-home order, which is kind of crazy. And then the California governor is asking for 50,000 more beds. That's if people use social distancing. They're saying that they've looked at numbers, and if people keep going the way they are, it could get a whole lot. They'll need a whole lot more. So they're already looking. It's going to be a lot of people affected by this.
Right now, I just got breaking news that there is no stimulus tonight. Nothing got signed.
Yeah, I didn't think so. They already had one vote die, and I don't know what's going to take. Eventually, I think it'll get done. But it's just going to keep, Democrats block this, another, because they need like 2/3 votes or something like that, and Democrats are not going to yield. But
well, I mean, it just
both plans seem to have issues. It's not like the Democrats are just playing hardball.
Well, yeah, both sides.
There's a lot of issues.
Yeah,
everywhere.
Mitch McConnell's doing the same shit, throwing some stuff on there too. It's get it to the point where everyone exactly that. Everyone's like so tired of a fucking government doing this crap, dragging their fucking feet. So yeah, that was just as of an hour ago. So we're in the middle of the interview. So yeah, so the vote didn't happen. No votes tonight as the negotiations continue, and that's from The Hill. That sucks, man.
Now, some more around the world. Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister for the UK, sending the UK into a lockdown to fight the corona pandemic. Yes, that's another stay-at-home order. And that's millions and millions of people right there that are to be affected. That's bringing the nation bringing the nation's. They've had 54 deaths were announced in the past 24 hours, bringing the UK's total to 335 people who have died from this virus. The shit's serious, guys. I don't know how I can't. Knock once for yes if you guys understand.
Oh, yeah, really do.
But one thing I've kind of hated is that every celebrity who's got this has to do their own podcast to talk about it. And it's crazy how, like, we have full basketball teams that got tested immediately but we can't get people to test through, which, to get tests. Like, they're waiting forever in line to get a test, which is kind of crazy. I do want to do a shout out. I didn't get a chance to the National Guard folks around the country, around the 54 states and territories who are kicking ass. Yes, Puerto Rico, Guam, those are territories. Virgin Islands are territories, and they count when you're talking about National Guard. Please, 54 states and territories. Anyways, the National Guard is kicking ass everywhere, and a lot of National Guards are being mobilized around the country, setting up everything from testing centers to drive-through testing centers. To help local law enforcement and FEMA and CDC personnel across the country. So, hey, nasty girls, this is your time to shine. So far, you guys are doing a great job with it.
Oh, come on, man! Hey, great job, nasty girls.
Can't give them all the love right away. But National Guard's been doing a great job. I did read. I'm on Twitter quite a bit, because that's one way I help us get the guests we get, besides our front desk people being completely awesome. And one of the threads I saw was an actual thread of their entire drive-through process, like actually going through a military drive-through testing spot. They gave a real account. They gave some pictures and stuff like that. The fear, the initial fear, kind of like if you've watched Outbreak or Pandemic a little too much on like Netflix. Avoid those if you're squeamish, because you don't want to freak yourself out or contagion. They gave a real accounting, and one reason why I bring this up is how professional the National Guard people were. Not only were able to reassure the family, were they able to do a quick swab, and they even had lollipops ready for the kids who were completely freaking out, which I can understand. Some person who's all in Mop 4 is like shoving a stick in my nose or mouth or whatever to get the test done.
Well, I think they're doing it wrong too, because I've seen swabbings done like that, and the way that person that was depicted doing it is like, it's kind of messed up. You that person was like being rough with that individual. They're like, just shoved that swab in there. I was like, there's no way. I've gotten swabbed for sinus infections and stuff like that, and I've never, and this was back in the day, I've
had good swabs, I've had rough swabs.
Right, but they make it sound like it's pretty invasive. It's like,
no, it was just the kids were, they're not used to that kind of things, but they had lollipops on standby, and they were very courteous, and I want to commend the National Guard folks for that. This is one of the reasons why you sign up for the National Guard. It's not just to, deploy overseas and stuff like that, but to serve that state mission. And I like to think that the National Guard beer should be happy for how their guys have been performing. And they always, we make fun of them a lot. Active duty reserve always makes fun of the National Guard. But I'll tell you what, the National Guard usually does a really good job when it comes to national emergency or state emergencies, whether it be natural disaster or fucking coronavirus.
Right. But you know what? But what really trips me out,
I'm not in the National Guard, and I know I'm pumping them hard. I'm pumping them up pretty good.
Yeah, you are probably.
They deserve it. Like, I can't. But even if they got some vehicles that ain't working right and people are freaking out over fake martial law.
Oh my God, I know, dude. What if you're seeing about these bailouts that the movie industry, movie theater industry, and the cruise lines and the airlines want to, I'm thinking, holy crap, what's?
You can get a ticket right now on JetBlue. I think it's JetBlue for $46. They takes you from DCA, which is Washington Reagan National,
right,
at Arlington, Virginia, to Atlanta for $46 one way. Like, prices are really cheap. I know firsthand. I know a couple people who actually sell cruises and work on cruise lines, and right now, like, they've canceled everything.
Well, so that's what pissed me off is that there's a lot of life events that I'd like to participate in, that I'd like to continue on in life. That when I saw these cheap tickets, I'm like, fucking A. And then when I saw the places where I was going to go visit, to go fly to, they're on lockdown. They're getting locked down. They have been locked down. They're going to be locked down.
This is why we have FaceTime.
I'm like, oh my God, this sucks, man. This is for some of the stuff that I want to do. But Jesus, dude, I was like,
but it's funny. So Frozen 2 came out. My kids love Frozen.
Thank God the boy does not like it. So go ahead.
It was only out on what do you call it? Was only out on DVD for a little bit before they immediately put it to Disney Plus.
Right.
Now, what shocked me the most was Onward, which is another Disney movie that came out. It's got Tom Holland and I think Chris Pratt as two main characters. It is a animated movie. Literally just got out of theaters, and they're immediately moving it to Disney Plus, like a digital download in Disney Plus right April 3rd. Place it, everyone's hurting. Like the cruise industry, the entertainment industry. You got can't play if you're a band, you can't play anywhere. If you're a bartender, unless you work at a liquor store or something, you're SOL. Waitresses are being cut, and waitresses and waiters are being cut down because most places that if they can stay open can only do carry out, which means you only need a couple people to do that. Cruises are non-existent for like the next 6 months, so they're trying to
see, that's what I'm saying.
Get these people in.
But
Airlines have changed their stuff.
Dude,
there's so much money being lost right now.
No, the way I see it, no, it means so much money that they want to keep taking, because I'll guarantee you right now there should be no bailout for the airline industry. There should not be a bailout for the cruise industry, and there should be a bailout for the movie theater industry. And here's the reason why I say that, is that the airline industry already charges you for an extra bag, and then they shove you in a seat that you can't recline back into somebody that's going to be pissed off that they're getting reclined into because they can't recline back. They've already done that. There are the bag fees on. That's what I thought the bag fees was on. I am all for bailing out the airlines if they give me more space, they let me recline, and they remove. I can bags fly free. If they do that, I'd support that. The cruise line industry, they fly their flags on their ships to not pay taxes in the States, the Bahamas, Panama, and all that. Guess what? No. Where's your fucking funding coming from that? You're not going to get a bailout from something like that. It just sucks to suck. Evolutionary process. The movie theaters, think about it, dude. $15 just to get a Coke and a bag of chips. No, they're already getting a lot of money anyways in ticket sales. And no. Nope. I don't. Well, those big, large chains already that are being done or being owned by corporations to begin with. Nah. I don't. The cruise industry, the airline industry. Say I got the 9/11 stuff. I got that. But this right now, no. Already there was already some issues with that. Like I said, having seat issues, passengers flying. People don't even. I hate flying anyways, unless I'm jumping out of the airplane itself. But people hate flying. Nobody likes the flying around. They don't mind flying. They don't like the process of getting on a plane, having to deal with people, and all that. Well, like I said, you make the seats a little bit. Let me recline back in my seat. Bags for free. Kids under 5 are free or something like that. I don't know. Throwing a little incentive on there. Then there you go. Then I don't care. You can bail them out. And then as a matter of fact, for the first 1,000 customers going to specific destinations, we'll take half off of your ticket or something like that. Or you maybe they have to market.
I found it. So I retweeted somebody else. It's Melanie Schmidt. She's a newswoman. So she has this great analogy or great tweet that I want to bring out. It says, airlines, $35 put your bag on the plane. Airlines, $16 for a bag of chips. Airlines, sorry, you want your legs to fit?
Right.
$75.
Yeah.
Airlines, haha, you have to fork over an extra $50 to choose a seat you already paid for. Airlines, empty. Airlines, oh no, someone help us, we're out of monies.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And you know what?
Nope.
It's tough because I don't want it's tough because for me, I'm looking at it two ways. I'm looking at the corporate side, the people, the fat cats up there who are they're sitting there, and the CEOs who are making money, making these decisions that piss off a lot of flyers and stuff like that. But then you have to think about the bailouts. It's depending how they word them, and this is one thing the Democrats are kind of fighting for. Is that the Republicans do want to give out bailouts to these big corporations and stuff like that, but there aren't anything that says you must protect you must protect your workers, because that's who I care about. I don't care about the guy who's getting like $50,000 as a bonus just for hey, you made us an extra $2 net profit. Here's $50,000. Good job. I'm worried about the guy who is is putting bags on the planes. Who's been doing it for 18 years and is 2 years away from retirement. I'm worried about the folks that are working the counters and working the cruise people who are under the deck cooking all the food and lobsters for every fat person. Yeah. And that's who I worry about. Like I said, I love being independent. because I get to pick and choose who I want to align with for whatever issue. And this is one where, while I do not subscribe to what Nancy Pelosi is trying to like add on everything she possibly can, and until we see like the next official bill, I won't be able to give you a great representation. But from what the upsearch from the Republican, it gives the money to help out these big corporations, but it does not help the little guy. And I think this is one of those times where if you're going to do a stimulus package, you're going to put money, not only just the potential $2,000, $1,000 to $2,000 per person, which sounds great, but if you're not protecting these workers, because they can take this money and still cut people, and that would piss me off. But nothing's going to happen with it. Because that's how that usually happens. So if there's some strict, like, hey, if you take this money to help you out because this is unprecedented and this is a crazy pandemic and this is not normal, like your company sucks and you just went under, you must do X, Y, and Z. So Joe, Doe, and Jimmy do not lose their jobs, keep their benefits.
I'm gonna tell you what,
rock and roll.
Everyone take note that what we're saying right now, because all the stuff that me and Flash talk about, believe it or not, sometimes has ended up in government. There's been some stuff we've said on WTF Nation Radio and U.S. Army WTF Moments that we have I will sit there and I will send a radio. I'm driving to take the kid to school or something like that. Well, when he was in the school before we got quarantined. And I will record radio shows of people speaking policy of some of the stuff that we said. I guarantee it right now that I'm going to quote Robert Reich when he said that taxpayer money should be used to bail out people, not corporations. And the reason why I say that is because I guarantee it. With all this money, you want some stimulus? I would make it multi-tiered. Since they're adding all this pork to it, we should add the pork to the people. If you have a student loan, all paid off. All of it, all this stuff right now. They even said they were doing math and analysis and Biden and freaking who's that other kid?
One thing in Pelosi's was a $10,000 towards all federal student loans.
Okay, well then that was that one. Okay, so that was no, pay him off. If you are going through, I don't care what degree you're
really
going to.
Be like, hey, we're going to throw you $50,000 to, and not just federal. I wish they could do, because the problem is not everyone has just federal loans. Like my federal loans are really small. And my private loans are where they get you. But
pay off those student loans, so that way that education's reinvested, and then at that point the schools and all that, I would go ahead and say, hey, some of you individuals that are going through the mortgage stuff, because right now they did pass that. They did extend the tax turn-in deadline to July 15th. They also are now talking about making stopping all evictions, all actions of people losing their homes because of this. So
they did stop interest on federal loans. So
they did. So
think paying student loans, and you need to get in contact with your student loan people, because they should be taking that off as of like March 12th or something.
Exactly.
March 15th or something.
So we have already. So now that we're seeing this, that more capitalizing in the people, because I guarantee it, there's going to be people that have to pay their lights, have to pay their power.
Mm-hmm.
Summertime's coming up in some areas, and people are going to be roasting, and they're going to be paying an exorbitant amount of freaking.
It's going to be a hot one this year.
And so you pay that stuff out. I guarantee it. Bam. Exactly that. If you were, especially VA loans and stuff like that, shit, pay them off. Student loans and stuff, hell yeah. But I don't understand why everyone you adding this additional pork to some specific government entity. I thought this was supposed to be a relief package for the country that is currently undergoing this disease thing. I don't understand what the stop is. I don't know why Mitch McConnell. I don't know why Nancy Pelosi. I don't know why the hell Chuck Schumer is putting his nose in this shit too. Dude, it's annoying as hell, dude. It really is frustrating as shit to see this stuff, and it makes me just not want to say, you know what, I just want to vote for D. Treasy out of spite, just to piss you guys off, because you guys suck. You know what I mean? Because who's gonna do it? Biden? Sanders? We don't have Tulsa anymore. It was Yang's plan anyways to do all this. What, $1,000 a month?
$1,000 a month for every person for the rest of their lives.
Right, and then now they're talking about what you said, $2,500 plus $500 a kid or something like that.
It bounces between 1,000 to 2. Like the latest numbers I've seen have been, it's $2,000 per person and like $500 per kid. So a family of 4 would end up getting $5,000 a month.
Right. Exactly.
That's the plan right now. And they're hoping that this will be a April, May. So you don't have to do it
I think
they're hoping to only have to do it twice.
I think for those that are being displaced or something like that, or getting a new home or going to buy a new home or something like that, should have some sort of incentive as well for some of the populations that have disappeared from moving or people leaving because of this event. Get some land. Go get some land. We'll give you some money if you want to go populate the state and blah blah blah. I mean, whatever, something. God, man, it's almost felt like you're in anticipation for something that's going to be like I don't know. There's people that are probably starving right now. They're probably worried. There's people right now that don't have any jobs, that aren't getting paid, and they don't know what to do to get.
Both my sister and my brother-in-law, who both are like my sister is a. Not only is she, she's a manager at a restaurant that is closed in the Dallas area. She's also like a personal chef and does for a lot of these lower upper class type folks who can afford to have a chef come in,
right,
make all their meals for the week and stuff like that and do all that. I mean, she's out of luck. Like I've already told my wife, I said, one thing I want to do is I would take half that money, give it straight to them because they need it more than I do. I think the other half and this is the time to buy those stocks. Hell, my grandfather took out $25,000 and started reinvesting in stocks because he's like, if there's never going to be another time where I can buy stocks, they're going to bounce back.
That's what I did.
You're not stupid.
No, that's what I did. As soon as I found out that freaking
Microsoft will bounce back. Apple will bounce. Everything's bounce back. Who knows if they'll get up to the level they were before everything started, going crazy. But it's not stupid. And hopefully, some people who don't need the money find a way better than just buying, 3 big screen TVs and an Xbox.
Well, isn't there like a threshold though? Did they discuss a threshold for this? For how many? What was you said there was a cap, right? What was the?
So there was one plan that was, I think it was maybe the end part of last week where if an individual makes $75,000 or less, they would get, you would get the stimulus, you would get this check,
right?
And if you were a couple jointly, you filed jointly, if you make $150,000 and less, you would get this you would get the stimulus check. So if you're a single dude, single chick making $80K and on your own, you're kind of out of luck. Same thing, if you're a couple and, like for me, I fall under the threshold for the couple because my wife stay at home, which is great. And so I don't make $150,000 a year.
These people who like to speak, the Mr. and Mrs. We love vets and we love our military. From now until an undetermined amount of time, everyone's pay in the military should be tax-free right now. Now. Everybody should be collecting tax-free pay. Everyone in the military should be collecting some sort of a stipend or something like that. But that's it. This should be tax-free. It's almost like hostile fire pay or hazardous duty pay or something like that. They should get everyone's pay in the military, reserve and active duty and National Guard should get their pay tax-free. And they should also get an incentive of because
especially the National Guard,
right?
Because I know the active guys are still working. I know plenty of people, reserve units that are trying to do like a virtual thing, and a lot of that aren't, and they're just like SOL, which it sucks. But the National Guard, they're out there. They definitely should be getting tax-free and hazard pay because, they're the ones out there in the Mach 4 doing their job. And again, props to the National Guard, rock and roll guys. But again, it's tough because you don't want to fall into the trap of where the people are like, well, all it took was $1,000 check to make people a socialist, and I'm like,
you know what? I'm tired.
I get what you're saying, but you're kind of like, this isn't we're going to do this for now on, but we're going to collect
this is not a time.
This is a Band-Aid on an issue.
Yeah, this is exactly that. That's exactly that. We don't have time for that bullshit.
This is a tourniquet to make sure that people can eat, so families can eat, and I'm okay with it. So the single mom who's got 3 kids, who's been working 2 jobs, who can't work at both those jobs,
exactly.
Still can feed her family. I'm okay with that because this is out of her control. This is out of the business's control. When the state goes, you're shut down. And like I know in a couple of states there are like the liquor stores are staying open, lumber, groceries, convenience stores, gas stations, pet stores, medical supplies places, and I think that's about it. Or the only thing, unless you're in those fields or are lucky to be able to I know a lot of people in Washington D.C. and the Pentagon are like, "See, boss, I told you I can do this job from home. I understand why I have to come in 5 days a week."
You know, that's another thing too. Why are these commands and why are these government agencies so bloated to have the personnel to do it? You know what I mean? You actually, in that mode right there, Flash, I think is that the government is saving money, and this is a proof of concept right now. The Army, me and Spanky are going to talk about this in Sergeant's time. The Army is actually going to fifth domain fucking promotion boards, dude. I would have thought that you would go to a promotion board. You know, back when I was in the Army, we had to wear our uniform and stand in front of people. Now, shit, dude, you could just load up Skype, get in your blues. And that's it.
You only need the top of your blues.
Well, I don't know. Well, facing movements would be a bitch. Yeah,
we're gonna need you to push, step
exactly
away from the camera.
But knowing DA, they'll probably put some specific stand. It's got to be in a room. It's got to be clear. You can't have your kids come Baby Ice earlier trying to come in here and interrupt the show, trying to grab the mic and shit. Little turd. This quarantine's job. I took him on a run this morning.
Yeah, I was telling my wife
smoke his bags.
I got to start going on runs now that I can't go to the gym.
Yeah, we were getting cabin fever last night, and it was just one. I was like, you know what, we're gonna run. He's like, huh? We're gonna run, huh? Like he's like, look at me like run.
I'll make you tired, boy.
It's like he's kind of looking like we're gonna he had that bewildered look. Run. We're gonna run. Like we're literally going to run. Huh? He just kept saying, huh? Come on, let's go. He thought
the zombie apocalypse.
Well, at first when we first started off, we started running. He thought I was leaving him, and so he thought I was like leaving him behind. I'm like, no, buddy, come on, let's go. I got to keep up. And then he's like, oh, okay. So then he's like, then I was trying to slow him down. So what I was doing is, on the city blog, I was just running around him while he was running. But he was keeping up. He held together pretty good. So tomorrow I'm gonna smoke his bags. He's gonna. I should video that. I should film and post that. Baby Ice doing some PT with me.
So the latest sporting event to be canceled. It looks like the 2020 Tokyo Olympics are going to be postponed until next year. So if you're waiting for that, that fix of the Olympics, which I wonder, I'm okay. I'm 100% okay with that, even though I know they're over there on the east side of the east of the world. They're kind of like are pushing through. They still have cases, but they're pushing through it. I think it's smart though, because it only takes one person from like Belize or Brazil or fucking from Florida, because the fucking college kids decided they want to go to fucking Tokyo Olympics and shit.
Exactly.
I'm okay, but I wonder if if they stay on schedule, or if they have from now on we bump because they do everything in 4 years, we bump everything to for.
Or would it be would it be the next, like it just canceled altogether and just wait till the next time it comes around? Yeah, I see the point.
No, they're definitely not. They already said they're a guy named the guy is named Dick Pound.
Dick Pound.
Can't even make that. Not even making that up. Flash is not even making that up. The representative and the guy kind of in charge is named Dick Pound. And no, apparently he's not a porn star. Wouldn't be surprised if somebody decided to change their name now.
Dick Pound.
But they are postponing it till 2021, so that is something for you to look forward to next year. It kind of makes me sad because it's one of those big events that I love watching, like the World Cup and the Olympics. But until baseball comes back, it's all obsolete. I don't care.
Oh my God.
Protest until baseball comes back.
So real quick, the main page has a COVID idol, U.S. Army WTF moments. If you go, look, we got a solo. We got two types of categories. We have a solo and we have a group. Singing stuff in quarantine idol type thing. So basically, if you've been detained, if you've been in quarantine and you've been in your house, you drop your submission. Film's got to be filmed in horizontal. No TikTok. It's got to if the memory
should be using TikTok anyway.
Right. If the memory of the file is too high, just Google Drive it and email the Google Drive link. Make sure you make it public to video@armywtfmoments.com. Well, it will get put in a pile, and just like American Idol, we will have we're gonna have some outtakes. we're gonna have some outtakes. We're gonna be like, oh my God, this one sucks. This is whatever. As a matter of fact, we were kind of going back and forth. We were talking about how Simon Cowell and Major General Donahoe kind of look the same. And I was going to see maybe we could send him some videos.
They do. too.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe we could send him some videos, and have him give his General Donahoe Simon Cowell impression of this type of videos and stuff like that. I don't know. We'll get some people involved in this, but what we're trying to do is obviously we're trying to get some relieve some stress out of it. But 2 categories: solo, singing some songs about whatever, about the COVIDs or something like that. Look on the main page. There's a post back earlier that talked about it. And it was Jose actually that posted it, which odd enough, Flash, you were like, it's that weird shit again. Yeah, we need to talk about that. There's been some accusations and ruminations that you are Jose, but I know you can't confirm or deny that. But yeah, National Orgy Day. Yeah, go ahead, dude.
National, please don't.
Yeah, I'm sorry. A group. So it's solo or group. It could be a duet, I guess. I don't know. Try it.
Less
see what
than
happens.
10 people though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's right. Yeah. It's got to be. It has to
put that out there because people are stupid.
Yeah, people are stupid. So it has
Well,
to.
they
It
didn't
has.
say that it couldn't have been 20 people.
Yeah, I said. There you go. WTF Nation and U.S. Army WTF moments.
The headline is WTF gives people coronavirus.
Yeah, we
by
contaminated half
telling
the
them to
army.
join groups.
Exactly. Looking at some of the comments, by the way, on Sergeant's Time, we're going to be going over some of the stories about readiness and the COVID-19 virus, coronavirus, because there's some stuff going on. Me and Spanky have been shaking our heads. We've been chatting with each other, and I'm like, have you seen this? I'm like, did you see this? We're just like, what the hell? So again, the Jose's COVID-19 quarantine idol video at armywtfmoments.com. Again, film it in horizontal landscape. Don't film it vertical. Don't use TikTok. And it's gonna get posted. It's gonna be in it's not gonna be redacted. It's not gonna be altered. It is gonna be all you. And we'll be more than happy to post that stuff. And we will have outtakes.
All you. All day long.
All day long. We will have outtakes. It's gonna be hilarious. So for those of you that are tone deaf, that sound like a wounded duck, and you submit a video, you're gonna get posted on there. So you'll be good to go, which is gonna be fucking hilarious. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else. Someone interrupted me about something. Oh, yes, the Googles and the Neckigator. We're gonna talk about that. There's been more stuff that's been happening to the point where Sergeant Major of the Army put something out, and he put a video out, and we're gonna post that before Sergeant's Time on Thursday. So, but that, I think. Do you got anything else, man? I think that was it. Tomorrow we got let's see. We have Pop Culture Warrior with CQ. Michael Gatsky. He's going to be on him and Radar shooting the shit. We also have the hang on. I got some email from. Oh shit, hang on. I got an email from so we're going to have what the hell is this? I'm looking at these cut sheet here. Oh my god, really? We'll talk about that at any rate. Yeah, we'll talk about that. We're going to have a surprise guest probably on Thursday. Again, we want to make sure that we get it all straight and we get it all knocked out and good to go. And we will we'll keep you informed. We'll probably get, like, I don't know, a 24-hour notice. We'll have a surprise guest this Thursday. It will involve possibly some stars. So that's about the biggest hint I could give you, because we don't know which stars are going to be, if that makes any sense. Stars. We got stars. So with that, you got anything for me, Flash? You're good? You good?
No, hey, everyone, wash your hands. Army.mil /COVID is a good place for information, like real information. Stop believing essential oils are going to help you.
Not that old one.
Stop believing that, if you drink some rat poison or garlic. I couldn't find garlic in the damn store last week because apparently garlic is like some secret remedy to help you from coronavirus. So all the garlic was fucking gone. It's the most ridiculous, stupid thing ever.
Explains that, because I wanted to make garlic bread this weekend.
Couldn't find either. I know, kind of bullshit.
No, I'm serious.
Hey,
me and the boy were gonna eat high on the hog so we can eat all our stockpiled food. That kid is like eating me out of house and home.
It's hard when they actually stay there. But hey, everyone, make sure to stay safe, social distancing. And we look forward to having you back next week on WTF Nation Radio. Don't forget, you can find us on WTFNationRadio.com. You can listen to the podcast both on Google Play or on Apple Podcasts. and on iTunes as well, and on the it seems like hundreds of channels, different streams that we're on to make sure that we get out the WTF Nation Radio words of wisdom and commentary.
Right. So you can hit us on. So right now, here's the thing. Because of the size of our shop right now, we can only operate 15 platforms. I was just talking to some of the main page bosses. Only 15. They asked me, hey, how many can you push? I was like, well, we need to get more social media people involved to do that. So we're working on getting those more platforms. But we're also trying to get another host on there, another host trained up. So aside from that, you're listening to us on Facebook on U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio. You're also listening to us on YouTube. If you have an Xbox and you have Mixer on the Xbox, you can hit it up, and we're broadcasting on Mixer. If you have a surround sound, I know we always sound better in stereo, not through your headphones sometimes. Stitcher, iHeartRadio picked us up. We got iHeartRadio. Yeah, iHeartRadio. Yeah, we're on iHeartRadio. Castbox FM, Mixcloud, TuneIn, Player FM, iVoox, of course, Twitter and Periscope, Mob Crush, and then of course WTF Nation Radio's Facebook. And then after we're all said and done here, then bam, you can upload podcast, or you can download the podcast, and of course catch us on those platforms because we don't delete shit. So
hell no, we don't. Hey, does that mean we're still hiring?
No, not yet, because we have to. I told you we gotta wait for this host to. We're training up hosts, and then we'll say, okay, we're ready for another host.
Hell yeah, we'll let you know when we're hiring again.
Yeah, because then the more hosts that we get on board once we open up the apps, and it will be better off because then I project that we'll be able to hit 30 platforms if we get plumped up, and we'll have more shows. So right now we have myself and Flash doing the Monday edition. We're gonna have CQ and Radar doing Pop Culture Warrior. Then we have myself and Spanky doing Sergeant's Time. And then you might have caught a show on Saturday, I think Saturday or Friday or something like that. Cause did a pickup show right quick. And then you have Team Old kicking it Cause with Cause and Owl, and then right back to us on Monday. So again, we're excited. I'm really loving the fact that all the stuff is coming together. Great guests, great hosts. So love you all. Thank you all for your support. You didn't have anything for me, Flash. I mean, let's bounce, dude. Let's get some Space Force playing or something.
Time to bounce. Stay safe. Wash your hands.
Wash your hands, son. Shouts.
Intergalactic horse, and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. And now they say that they've discovered life up there on Mars, so let's blow it all to hell and then claim it for ours. We'll paint the moon red, white, and blue for no other reason than we wanted to. Oh Oh, Jupiter, imagine what you could become. A stupid, pointless planet turned into a giant gun. And Russia, so sorry, have to burst your bubble. Be a good sport, now sit back, relax, and watch us through the hubble as we celebrate the greatness of the United Planets of America. Space Force, we'll saddle up our intergalactic horse, and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. Now we'll go to infinity and beyond, beyond. You'll hear our manly voices singing Space Force strong. The critics say sound doesn't travel in space, to which we reply sound will do as we say. Oh, Captain Kirk, your achievements, though notable and fine, as far as we're concerned, this is Deep Space Mine. And big fans, but Lord Vader, step away from the lightsaber. There can only be one, of course. Space Force. Ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum-dum-dum-dum, ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. Space Force, Space Force, we'll saddle up our intergalactic horse, and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force.
What is this Facebook Live? I've never heard of this shit.
Good evening, boys and girls. This is Tim Kennedy. I'm a Special Forces sniper, a Ranger qualified Green Beret, a UFC fighter. Please listen to us and the shenanigans that we're going to say. We will insult you. There will be racial slurs. We will be sexist. We will offend you. But there will be magic, and a unicorn will be raped. So enjoy the show. Thank you for listening on WTF Nation Radio.